Once upon a time, in a secluded valley hidden by misty mountains, there was a small village called Eldergrove. Eldergrove was known for its lush gardens and vibrant flowers, but the most remarkable of all was the starflower. This rare and magical flower bloomed only once every 100 years, under the light of the midnight sun. The starflower was said to possess incredible powers. Its petals sparkled like the night sky, and it was believed that a wish made while touching the starflower would come true. The villagers eagerly awaited its blooming, but for the past century, the flower had not appeared. Legend had it that the flower's magic had faded because a greedy sorcerer had stolen a part of its power long ago. A courageous girl named Lyra lived in Eldergrove. Lyra had always been fascinated by the starflower and its legend. Unlike the other villagers, who had become resigned to its absence, Lyra believed that if anyone could restore the flower's magic, it was her. She had heard stories about an enchanted forest where the sorcerer had hidden the starflower's lost power. On the eve of the 100th year, Lyra decided to embark on a quest to find and restore the flower's magic. With her trusty satchel and a heart full of determination, she set out towards the enchanted forest, which was known to be filled with mysterious creatures and magical obstacles. As Lyra entered the forest, she was greeted by the soft glow of bioluminescent plants and the whispering of ancient trees. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers, but the forest was eerily quiet. Lyra followed a path marked by twinkling fireflies, her path lit by the moon's gentle glow. Along the way, she encountered a talking fox named Orion. Orion was wise and had heard tales of the sorcerer's hidden lair. To find the sorcerer's lair, you must solve 3 riddles, Orion advised. Only then will you be able to retrieve the starflower's lost power. Lyra agreed and followed Orion to a clearing where an ancient stone altar stood. 3 shimmering orbs hovered above the altar, each representing a riddle. The first orb floated closer and the riddle echoed through the clearing. I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I? Lyra thought carefully and answered, a map. The orb glowed warmly and floated back. The second orb came forward, and its riddle was, the more you take, the more you leave behind. What am I? Lyra smiled and replied, footsteps. The orb shone brighter and returned to its place. The third and final orb presented its riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I? After a moment's thought, Lyra answered, an echo. The orb glowed with a brilliant light and revealed a hidden passage. Orion guided Lyra through the passage, which led to a hidden cave adorned with glittering crystals. At the end of the cave, they found a grand chamber with a pedestal in the center. Resting on the pedestal was a small, ornate box, and inside the box was a vial containing a swirling, radiant essence, the lost power of the starflower. Just as Lyra was about to take the vial, a shadowy figure appeared. It was the sorcerer, whose eyes gleamed with dark magic. You cannot take what belongs to me, the sorcerer declared. Lyra, though frightened, stood firm. The starflower's magic must be restored. It's not yours to keep.
Not medicine.
The sorcerer laughed, the magic belongs to whoever possesses it. But if you are so determined, prove your worth. With that, the sorcerer conjured a storm of illusions and obstacles. Lyra faced illusions of her greatest fears and challenges that tested her resolve. She relied on her courage and the kindness she had shown to others to overcome each challenge. Eventually, Lyra reached the sorcerer and, with a brave heart, offered the vial. This is not for me, she said. It is for the starflower and for everyone who believes in its magic. The sorcerer was taken aback by Lyra's selflessness. The dark magic dissipated, and the sorcerer's heart softened. Perhaps I was wrong, he admitted. Perhaps there is more to magic than possession. Lyra returned to Eldergrove with the vial. As the midnight sun rose, she poured the essence over the starflower. The flower's petals bloomed with an ethereal light, and its magic was restored. The village was filled with a radiant glow, and the starflower's wish-granting power was more potent than ever. The villagers celebrated with joy and gratitude, and Lyra was hailed as a hero. The Starflower's magic brought prosperity and happiness to Eldergrove, and the legend of Lyra's bravery became a cherished story told for generations. And so, the Valley of Eldergrove thrived under the light of the Starflower, a beacon of hope and wonder for all who believed in the magic of selflessness and courage. In the heart of a lush, ancient forest stood a towering willow tree known as the Whispering Willow. It was said that this magical tree could grant a single wish to anyone who proved their kindness and bravery. The villagers often spoke of the tree's gentle whispers that carried secrets of the forest and the promises of dreams fulfilled. One bright morning, a kind-hearted girl named Mira set out from her small village on a quest to find the Whispering Willow. Her beloved grandmother, who had always been the village storyteller, had fallen ill. Mira hoped that if she could find the legendary tree and make a wish, she could restore her grandmother's health. Mira journeyed through the dense forest, following the advice of the villagers who had described the tree's location as being near a sparkling brook and a meadow of wildflowers. As she walked, the forest seemed alive with the chatter of birds and the rustling of leaves, guiding her on her way. After hours of travel, Mira arrived at a glistening brook. She carefully followed its banks, keeping an eye out for any sign of the magical tree. The brook led her to a beautiful meadow filled with colorful flowers swaying in the breeze. At the far end of the meadow, nestled between two hills, she saw the Whispering Willow. The tree was magnificent, its branches sweeping the ground like a lush curtain. Its leaves shimmered with a silvery glow, and soft, melodious whispers drifted through the air. Mira approached the tree with a mixture of awe and hope. "Welcome, Mira," the Whispering Willow said in a voice like a gentle breeze. "I have been waiting for someone with a pure heart. What is it that you wish for?" Mira took a deep breath and spoke with sincerity. "I wish for my grandmother to be restored to health. She has been unwell for many months, and I want to see her smile again." The Whispering Willow's branches swayed as if pondering the request. A wish made with such love and selflessness is powerful. But first, you must prove your kindness and bravery by helping others along your way. The magic within me requires a heart that not only desires but also acts. The tree's words filled Mira with determination. "I will do whatever it takes." The Whispering Willow directed Mira to a small, nearby village where she would find the first challenge. Mira followed the tree's guidance and soon reached the village, which was suffering from a severe drought. The villagers were desperate, and their crops had withered under the relentless sun. Mira saw an elderly woman struggling to carry water from a distant well. Without hesitation, Mira offered to help. She carried water to the village, shared her own provisions, and worked alongside the villagers to dig a new well. Her efforts brought hope and relief to the village. The villagers thanked Mira and admired her kindness. She continued her journey, guided once more by the Whispering Willow's whispers, until she reached a dense part of the forest where a group of lost animals were huddled together, frightened and hungry. Mira used her wits and compassion to help the animals find their way back to their homes. She shared her food and built small shelters for those who needed them. The animals, grateful for her kindness, guided her to a hidden glade where a family of injured fairies lived. The fairies were in need of healing, and Mira gently tended to their wounds using herbs she gathered from the forest. Her nurturing care restored the fairies' strength, and they fluttered around her in thanks, offering her their magic in return. Finally, Mira made her way back to the Whispering Willow, carrying the blessings of those she had helped. She approached the tree with a heart full of fulfillment and hope. "I have done as you asked," Mira said. "I have helped those in need and acted with kindness and bravery. Please, grant my wish for my grandmother's health." The Whispering Willow's leaves shimmered brightly as it began to weave a soft, glowing light around Mira. "You have shown true kindness and bravery, Mira. Your wish shall be granted." With a gentle rustling of its branches, the Whispering Willow released a magical breeze that carried Mira's wish back to her village. When Mira returned home, she found her grandmother smiling and full of life, as if a miracle had occurred. The villagers rejoiced at the sight of the restored grandmother, and Mira's tale of bravery and kindness became a cherished story in the village. The Whispering Willow continued to stand tall in the forest, its whispers a reminder that true magic comes from the heart. And so, Myra's selfless journey and the kindness she showed to others brought light and healing not just to her grandmother but to everyone she met along the way. The end. Once upon a time, in a land filled with magical creatures and enchanted forests, there lived a little dragon named Draco. Draco was different from the other dragons. He was small and had shimmering blue scales. He lived in a cozy cave at the edge of the Whispering Woods, a place known for its secrets and mysteries. Draco loved to explore the forest and make friends with the animals. His best friends were Bella the bunny, Oliver the owl, and Mia the mouse. They would often gather by the ancient oak tree and share stories of their adventures. One sunny afternoon, as Draco and his friends were playing near a sparkling stream, they noticed something unusual. A shiny, golden key was lying on the ground, half buried in the soft grass. Draco picked it up and examined it closely. "This must be a magical key," said Draco, his eyes wide with excitement. "But what does it open?" Oliver, the wisest of the group, hooted softly. "I've heard tales of a lost treasure hidden deep in the Whispering Woods. Maybe this key unlocks it." Bella and Mia's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "Let's find the treasure," they exclaimed in unison. Determined to solve the mystery, Draco and his friends set off on their adventure. They followed a path that led them deeper into the forest, where the trees whispered secrets and the air was filled with the scent of wildflowers. As they walked, they encountered various challenges. They crossed a rickety bridge over a bubbling brook, solved riddles from a mischievous squirrel, and navigated through a maze of thorny bushes. With each challenge, they grew closer as friends and learned the value of teamwork. Finally, they reached a clearing where a large, ancient tree stood. Its trunk was gnarled and twisted, and at its base was a small, ornate lock. Draco's heart pounded with anticipation as he pulled out the golden key. "Here goes nothing," he said, inserting the key into the lock. With a soft click, the lock opened, revealing a hidden door in the tree trunk. The friends peered inside and saw a winding staircase leading down into the darkness. With a deep breath, they began their descent, the air growing cooler as they went deeper underground. At the bottom of the staircase, they entered a vast cavern filled with glittering treasures. Piles of gold coins, sparkling gems, and ancient artifacts were scattered everywhere. In the center of the cavern was a large, golden chest. Draco and his friends approached the chest and carefully opened it. Inside, they found a collection of beautifully crafted items, a golden crown, a jeweled scepter, and a delicate silver locket. But what caught their attention most was a scroll with an intricate map. Oliver unrolled the map and studied it closely. "This map leads to more hidden treasures across the land," he said, his eyes twinkling with excitement. Bella and Mia looked at Draco. "What should we do with all this treasure?" they asked. Draco thought for a moment. "We should share it with everyone in the forest. It will bring joy and help those in need." With their new plan, Draco and his friends carefully gathered the treasures and returned to the surface. They distributed the riches among the creatures of the forest, bringing smiles and happiness to all. The animals of the Whispering Woods held a grand celebration to thank Draco and his friends for their kindness and bravery. The ancient oak tree was decorated with lights, and everyone danced and feasted under the stars. From that day on, Draco and his friends continued to explore the land, using the map to find and share hidden treasures. They became known as the Guardians of the Whispering Woods, beloved by all for their generosity and adventurous spirits. And so, the little dragon and his friends lived happily ever after, always ready for the next adventure, knowing that true treasure lies in the joy of sharing and the bonds of friendship. The end. Once upon a time, in a lush and vibrant forest called Evergreen, there lived a tiny mouse named Milo. Milo was no ordinary mouse. He had a heart as brave as a lion and a curiosity that knew no bounds. The forest was his playground, and he spent his days exploring its nooks and crannies, always seeking new adventures. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the forest was bathed in the soft glow of twilight, Milo overheard a conversation between two old oak trees. They whispered about a mysterious crystal flower hidden deep within the enchanted grove. The crystal flower was said to possess incredible magical powers, capable of granting any wish to the one who found it. But the grove was dangerous, filled with traps and guarded by a fierce and cunning serpent. Milo's whiskers twitched with excitement. He thought of his family and friends and how the crystal flower could bring prosperity to their small community. Determined to find the flower, he set off on his journey that very night, guided by the light of the full moon. As Milo ventured deeper into the forest, he encountered a wise old owl named Athena. Perched high on a branch, Athena looked down at Milo with her piercing eyes. "Where are you headed, little one?" she hooted softly. "I seek the crystal flower in the enchanted grove," Milo replied. "I want to help my family and friends." Athena nodded, impressed by Milo's courage. "The path to the enchanted grove is fraught with danger. You will need wisdom and bravery to succeed. Take this feather," she said, plucking a feather from her wing. "It will protect you from harm." Milo thanked Athena and continued on his way, clutching the feather tightly. As he approached the entrance to the enchanted grove, he noticed the air growing colder, and an eerie silence fell over the forest. The trees here were twisted and gnarled, their branches reaching out like skeletal arms. Suddenly, a rustling sound broke the silence. Milo turned to see a fox with a sleek, reddish coat and cunning eyes emerge from the shadows. "What brings you to the enchanted grove, little mouse?" the fox asked, its voice smooth and menacing. "I seek the crystal flower," Milo answered, standing tall despite his fear. The fox chuckled. "Many have tried, but none have succeeded. The serpent that guards the flower is relentless. But perhaps I can help you. Answer my riddle, and I will show you the way." Milo nodded, his mind racing. "Very well," he said. The fox's eyes gleamed. "What has keys but can't open locks, has space but no room, and you can enter but not go inside?" Milo thought for a moment, then smiled. "A keyboard," he replied confidently. The fox's grin widened. "Correct, little mouse. Follow this path, but beware of the serpent." With the fox's guidance, Milo continued deeper into the grove until he reached a clearing bathed in moonlight. In the center of the clearing stood the crystal flower, its petals shimmering with an otherworldly glow. But coiled around the flower was the serpent, its scales glistening like polished emeralds and its eyes fixed on Milo. "Who dares approach my flower?" the serpent hissed, its voice a venomous whisper. "I am Milo, and I seek the crystal flower to help my family and friends," Milo said bravely, holding up Athena's feather. The serpent eyed the feather warily, recognizing its protective magic. "Very well, Milo. If you wish to claim the flower, you must prove your worth. Tell me, what is the greatest power in the world?" Milo thought about his adventures and the friends who had helped him along the way. He looked into the serpent's eyes and said, "The greatest power in the world is love. It is love that drives us to be brave, to seek wisdom, and to help others." The serpent stared at Milo for a long moment, then slowly uncoiled itself from around the flower. "You have answered wisely, little mouse. The crystal flower is yours." With a grateful heart, Milo approached the flower and gently plucked it from the ground. As he did, a warm light enveloped him, and he felt a surge of magic flow through him. The flower's power was now his to command. Milo returned to his village, where he was greeted with cheers and tears of joy. Using the magic of the crystal flower, he brought prosperity to his community, ensuring that no one would ever go hungry or thirsty again. The forest flourished, and the animals lived in harmony, all thanks to the bravery and love of a tiny mouse named Milo. And so, Milo's legend spread far and wide, reminding everyone that even the smallest among us can achieve great things when driven by love and courage. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the night sky shimmered with countless stars, there was a quaint village named Starhaven. Nestled within a lush forest, the village was known for its midnight orchard, a magical grove where trees bore glowing fruits that illuminated the entire forest with a soft, enchanting light each night. The village children loved playing in the orchard, especially young Lila, who had a special bond with the trees. The midnight orchard was the heart of Starhaven, and its magical glow was believed to be a gift from the moon itself, ensuring peace and prosperity for the villagers. One evening, as the village prepared for the Moonlight Festival, the orchard's light began to flicker and dim. The once vibrant glow of the fruits waned, casting a shadow over the village. Concerned, the villagers gathered around the orchard, but no one knew how to restore its magic. Lila, who had always felt a deep connection to the orchard, decided to investigate. She approached the village elder, a wise woman named Ilara. "Grandmother Ilara, what can we do to save the Midnight Orchard?" Lila asked with determination. Ilara's face was grave as she spoke. The orchard's magic is tied to a special crystal known as the Moon's Heart. It is said that the Moon's Heart was hidden away long ago to protect it from falling into the wrong hands. If it's lost or stolen, the orchard's light will fade. You must find the Moon's Heart and return it to restore the magic. With a sense of purpose, Lila set off on her quest. She ventured into the heart of the forest, guided by the faint glow of the remaining fruits. The forest was alive with the sounds of nocturnal creatures, but Lila pressed on, her resolve unwavering. As she journeyed deeper into the forest, Lila encountered a shimmering, silver fox who appeared to be guarding a hidden path. The fox spoke with a voice like a gentle breeze. "To proceed, you must prove your heart is pure. Answer this riddle: I have no voice, yet I speak. I have no body, yet I am alive. What am I?" Lila thought for a moment and replied, "A dream." The silver fox's eyes twinkled, and it stepped aside, revealing the path to a hidden cave. Inside the cave, the air was cool and filled with the scent of ancient magic. At the cave's center, on a pedestal bathed in soft moonlight, rested the Moon's Heart, a crystal that pulsed with a gentle, silvery glow. But as Lila approached the Moon's Heart, she noticed a figure cloaked in shadows, an old sorceress with eyes that glowed like embers. "You seek the Moon's Heart," the sorceress said in a voice as cold as winter's breath. "To take it, you must pass one final test." The sorceress conjured a swirling, dark mist that filled the cave, making it difficult to see. "Face the darkness," she challenged. "If you can find your way through, you may take the Moon's Heart." Lila took a deep breath and stepped into the mist. She closed her eyes and focused on the memory of the orchard's warm glow and the love she felt for her village. Slowly, she began to see a faint, silvery light through the darkness. Following the light, she emerged from the mist, her heart filled with courage. The sorceress, seeing Lila's bravery and purity of heart, smiled and allowed her to take the Moon's Heart. Lila carefully carried the crystal back to the Midnight Orchard. As she approached, the orchard's fruits began to glow softly once more, and the light grew brighter with each step she took. Placing the Moon's Heart back in its rightful place at the center of the orchard, Lila watched in awe as the fruits burst into a dazzling array of colors, bathing the forest in a warm, magical light. The village erupted in cheers as the Midnight Orchard was restored to its former glory. That night, during the Moonlight Festival, the village celebrated with renewed joy and gratitude. The Midnight Orchard's light was more brilliant than ever, and Lila's bravery was honored with a special ceremony. From that day on, the story of Lila and the Moon's Heart was passed down through generations in Starhaven. A tale of courage, love, and the magic that resides in a pure heart. The Midnight Orchard continued to shine brightly, a beacon of hope and harmony in the land. And so, the village of Starhaven thrived under the eternal glow of the Midnight Orchard, forever blessed by the magic of the Moon's Heart. Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the edge of the world, there was a vast and mystical forest known as Eldergrove. Eldergrove was no ordinary forest, it was enchanted. Magic shimmered in the air, and the trees whispered secrets to those who listened closely. It was a place where fairies danced, and animals spoke in gentle tones. In the heart of Eldergrove lived a small but brave squirrel named Finn. Finn was known throughout the forest for his courage and kindness. He had tiny, bushy tails that flicked with excitement whenever he was on an adventure. His bright eyes sparkled with curiosity, and he had a knack for solving puzzles that left even the wisest creatures stumped. One sunny morning, the harmony of Eldergrove was disrupted by an unusual sight. A dark cloud hung over the forest, and an ominous silence replaced the usual cheerful chatter of the woodland creatures. The magical river Lumina, which sparkled with enchanted light, had lost its glow. Without its light, the forest was at risk of being swallowed by darkness. The wise old owl, Orion, who had seen many moons, called a meeting of all the forest creatures. They gathered in a clearing, their faces etched with concern. Orion explained that the source of the river Lumina's magic, the crystal of light, had been stolen. Without it, the river could no longer shine, and the forest would fall into eternal night. "We need someone brave to retrieve the crystal," Orion declared, "and restore the light to our river." Finn, who had been listening intently, stepped forward. "I will retrieve the crystal and restore the light," he said firmly. The forest creatures cheered, their spirits lifting for the first time in days. Orion gave Finn a small, shimmering map that would guide him through the enchanted forest, past the gloomy glade, and to the mountain of shadows, where the crystal was believed to be hidden. With the map secured and his heart full of courage, Finn set off on his journey. Finn's first challenge came at the enchanted forest's edge. The trees there were ancient and wise, but also known to be mischievous. To pass, Finn had to answer a riddle posed by the guardian oak, a massive, gnarled tree. "What has keys but can't open doors, has a heart but never beats, and when lost, brings sorrow?" the guardian oak asked. Finn thought for a moment, then replied, "A piano." The guardian oak nodded approvingly and allowed Finn to pass. As Finn continued, he reached the gloomy glade, a dark and eerie part of the forest where the shadows seemed to have a life of their own. Here, Finn encountered a friendly, though slightly grumpy, firefly named Lumi. Lumi's light was faint but offered Finn a glimmer of hope. "I'll help you find your way through the gloomy glade," Lumi offered, "but only if you can solve another riddle." Finn agreed, and Lumi asked, "What is light as a feather, yet the strongest man can't hold it for much more than a minute?" With a smile, Finn answered, "Breath." Lumi's light brightened, and together, they made their way through the glade, where the darkness seemed less daunting with Lumi's guidance. The next leg of the journey led Finn to the Mountain of Shadows. The path was steep and treacherous, with rocks that seemed to whisper doubts into his ears. Finn was tired but determined. As he climbed, he spotted a small, glowing creature caught in a tangle of thorns. It was a fairy named Alara, known for her delicate beauty and kind heart. "I'm so grateful you found me," Alara said. "The thorns are enchanted and won't release me. If you help me, I can guide you to the crystal's hiding place." Finn freed Alara from the thorns, and she led him to a hidden cave within the mountain. Inside, the cave was filled with a soft, golden light, and there, resting on a pedestal, was the crystal of light. Just as Finn was about to take the crystal, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness. It was the forest's former protector, who had turned to darkness and stolen the crystal in his quest for power. A fierce battle of wits ensued, with the dark figure trying to confuse Finn with illusions. But Finn remembered the lessons he had learned along his journey. Using his bravery and quick thinking, he outsmarted the dark figure, revealing the truth and restoring the crystal to its rightful place. The dark figure vanished, leaving Finn triumphant. With the crystal safely in his possession, Finn and Alara returned to Eldergrove. The moment the crystal touched the river Lumina, the river burst back into its radiant, shimmering light. The darkness lifted from the forest, and the creatures of Eldergrove rejoiced. Orion, the wise old owl, declared Finn a hero, and a grand celebration was held in his honor. The forest was restored to its former glory, and Finn's bravery was celebrated throughout the land. From that day on, Finn continued to be a guardian of the forest, ever ready for new adventures and always ready to help those in need. And Eldergrove thrived in the glow of the river Lumina, forever grateful to the brave little squirrel who had saved their world. And so, the enchanted forest remained a place of magic and wonder, where the light never faded and the spirit of bravery shone as brightly as ever. Once upon a time, in the heart of a misty forest, there was a quaint village named Luminera. The village was known for its vibrant gardens and shimmering streams, but it had one unique treasure, a magical lantern that was said to light the way for anyone who was lost or in need. the lantern was housed in the village's oldest cottage, which belonged to an elderly woman named Grandma Esme. She was known throughout the land for her kindness and wisdom. The lantern was a family heirloom, passed down through generations, and its soft, golden glow was believed to have the power to reveal hidden truths and guide people through their darkest hours. One day, the village was visited by a young prince named Leo from the neighboring kingdom of Eldoria. He had heard tales of the enchanted lantern and was intrigued by its magic. The prince was on a quest to find a rare and precious flower known as the moon blossom, which only bloomed once every 100 years under the light of the full moon. The moon blossom had the power to cure his kingdom's ailing land. Grandma Esme welcomed Prince Leo warmly and listened to his tale. "The moon blossom is indeed a rare flower," she said, "and its blooming is a sight to behold. However, finding it requires more than just luck. It requires a heart that is pure and intentions that are true." The prince, determined to help his kingdom, asked Grandma Esme if she would lend him the enchanted lantern to aid in his quest. She agreed, but only if Leo promised to return it once his mission was complete, for the lantern held great significance to her family. With the lantern in hand, Prince Leo set out into the forest under the light of the full moon. The lantern's warm glow guided his path through the tangled woods and winding streams. As he ventured deeper, he encountered various challenges: swift rivers, steep cliffs, and dense thickets. Yet, the lantern's light always found a way to show him the safest path forward. During his journey, Leo came across a small, mysterious creature, a talking fox named Finn. Finn had a coat of shimmering silver and eyes that sparkled with curiosity. "Why are you traveling so far into the forest?" Finn asked. "I am searching for the moon blossom," Prince Leo explained. "It is said to bloom only under the full moon, and I need it to save my kingdom." Finn's eyes widened with understanding. "I know where the moon blossom blooms, but it's a dangerous path. The lantern's light will help you, but you must also have a brave heart and a clear mind." Grateful for Finn's help, Leo followed him through the forest. The two of them faced many trials, from crossing rickety bridges to outsmarting mischievous sprites. With the lantern's guidance and Finn's assistance, they finally reached a secluded glade bathed in moonlight. In the center of the glade was a majestic flower, the moon blossom. Its petals glowed with an ethereal light, and its fragrance filled the air with a sense of peace and hope. Prince Leo carefully collected the moon blossom and thanked Finn for his guidance. As he turned to leave, he noticed that the lantern's light was growing dim. The enchantment that had guided him was fading, and the path back seemed uncertain. Leo realized that he needed to return the lantern to Grandma Esme, as promised. With the moon blossom secured, Leo made his way back to the village. The journey was still challenging, but the memories of his adventure and his commitment to his kingdom's welfare kept him steady. Upon returning the lantern to Grandma Esme, he presented her with the moon blossom. "You have fulfilled your promise," Grandma Esme said, smiling. "And you have shown great courage and purity of heart. The lantern will continue to guide those in need, and the moon blossom will heal your kingdom." Prince Leo returned to Eldoria, where the moon blossom was used to restore the land to its former glory. His kingdom thrived once more, and he was celebrated as a hero. He often thought fondly of the enchanted lantern in the village of Luminera, where his journey had begun. The lantern remained in Grandma Esme's cottage, its light still shining brightly for those who sought guidance. The story of Prince Leo and the enchanted lantern became a beloved legend in Luminera, reminding everyone of the power of bravery, kindness, and the magic of a guiding light. And so, the village of Luminera continued to glow with the light of hope and adventure, ever ready to illuminate the path for those who ventured into the forest in search of their own dreams. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom called Eldoria, there was a small village named Briarwood. Nestled between dense forests and towering mountains, Briarwood was a peaceful place where people lived in harmony with nature. But despite its beauty, the village was plagued by a mysterious curse. Every full moon, the village's water sources would dry up, and the people would suffer from thirst until the moon waned. In this village lived a young boy named Tomas. Tomas was known for his curiosity and adventurous spirit. He lived with his grandmother, Eliza, who often told him stories of the ancient times when the village thrived without any curses. One night, as they sat by the fire, Eliza told Tomas about the Crystal Lake, a magical body of water hidden deep within the forbidden forest. The lake was said to have the power to break any curse and restore life to the land. The path to the Crystal Lake is dangerous, Eliza warned. Many have tried to find it, but none have returned. It is guarded by fierce creatures and treacherous terrain. Despite the danger, Tomas felt a strong urge to find the lake and save his village. With his grandmother's blessing, he packed a small bag of provisions and set off at dawn, determined to uncover the secret of the Crystal Lake. As Tomas entered the forbidden forest, the trees loomed tall and thick, their branches intertwining like a labyrinth. The air was thick with the scent of pine and moss. As he ventured deeper, he encountered a fox with fur as red as fire. The fox sat in his path, watching him with intelligent eyes. "Where are you going, young one?" the fox asked. "I seek the Crystal Lake to save my village from a terrible curse," Tomas replied. The fox tilted its head. "The path is fraught with danger. You will need courage and wisdom. I will help you, but you must trust me." Tomas agreed, and the fox led him through the forest, helping him avoid traps and dangerous creatures. As they traveled, the fox shared stories and riddles, teaching Tomas valuable lessons about bravery and cunning. After several days, they reached the edge of a dark, foreboding swamp. The air was thick with fog, and the water was murky and still. Tomas hesitated, unsure of how to proceed. "Do not fear the swamp," the fox said. "It is a test of your determination. Focus on your goal, and you will find a way." Tomas took a deep breath and stepped into the swamp. With each step, the mud threatened to pull him down, but he pressed on, keeping his eyes fixed on the distant horizon. Eventually, he emerged on the other side, exhausted but triumphant. The fox continued to guide him until they reached the base of a towering mountain. At the mountain's peak was a cave, and from within the cave came a soft, shimmering light. "The Crystal Lake is inside," the fox said. "But it is guarded by a fierce dragon. You must face the dragon and prove your worth." Tomas climbed the mountain, his heart pounding with anticipation and fear. When he reached the cave, he saw the dragon, its scales glistening like precious gems. The dragon opened its eyes and gazed at Tomas with an intensity that made him tremble. "Why have you come here, little one?" the dragon rumbled. "I seek the Crystal Lake to save my village from a terrible curse," Tomas replied, his voice steady despite his fear. The dragon studied him for a moment before speaking. "To access the lake, you must answer this riddle. What is so fragile that saying its name breaks it?" Tomas thought for a moment, recalling the riddles the fox had taught him. Then he smiled and said, "Silence." The dragon nodded approvingly and stepped aside, revealing the entrance to the cave. Inside, Tomas found the Crystal Lake, its waters sparkling with a magical light. He filled a small vial with the enchanted water and thanked the dragon for its wisdom. The journey back to Briarwood was swift, as the fox guided him safely through the forest. When Tomas returned to the village, he poured the water from the Crystal Lake into the village well. Instantly, the water began to flow again, clear and abundant. The curse was lifted, and the villagers rejoiced. Eliza embraced her grandson, her eyes filled with pride and gratitude. "You have done what many thought impossible, Tomas. You have saved our village." Tomas smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. The fox watched from the edge of the forest, its eyes twinkling with satisfaction before it disappeared into the trees. From that day forward, Briarwood thrived. The villagers honored Tomas as a hero, and the story of his bravery and determination was passed down through generations. The Crystal Lake became a symbol of hope and resilience, reminding everyone that even the greatest challenges could be overcome with courage and wisdom. And so, the village of Briarwood lived happily ever after, forever grateful to the brave young boy who saved them from the curse. The end. Once upon a time, in the heart of a dense forest, there was a hidden library known only to a few. This library was unlike any other, It was said to be enchanted, with books that could come to life and stories that could whisk readers away on magical adventures. The library was protected by an ancient spell, and only those with pure hearts and a thirst for knowledge could find it. The guardian of this magical library was an elderly librarian named Alaric. With a long silver beard and wise eyes, Alaric had spent his life ensuring that the library's secrets were kept safe. He loved the library dearly and took great care of its countless books and scrolls. One day, a curious and kind-hearted girl named Alara, who lived in a small village on the edge of the forest, stumbled upon a mysterious map. The map was old and worn, but it depicted the path to the hidden library. Alara had always loved stories and dreamed of finding a place where magical tales came to life. Driven by her curiosity, she decided to follow the map. As Alara ventured into the forest, she encountered various magical creatures, glowing fireflies, talking squirrels, and wise old owls, all guiding her along the path. After a long journey, she finally arrived at the hidden library, its towering shelves and ancient tomes shining with a soft, welcoming glow. The library's doors creaked open as Alara approached, revealing a vast interior filled with shelves of books that seemed to shimmer with enchantment. Alara was awestruck as she wandered through the library, marveling at the magical aura that surrounded her. Alaric, the librarian, noticed her and welcomed her with a warm smile. "Welcome, young one," he said in a gentle voice. "It is rare to see a visitor with a heart so full of wonder and curiosity. What brings you to our enchanted library?" Alara, her eyes wide with amazement, replied, "I found this map and followed it here. I've always dreamed of finding a place where stories come to life. Can you tell me more about this place?" Alaric nodded. "This library holds countless tales from across the realms, and some of them have a life of their own. But not everyone who enters can interact with the magic within these walls. It requires a special kind of bravery and kindness." Alara's eyes sparkled with excitement. "I want to learn more and experience the magic. What can I do?" Alaric smiled. "There is a special book in this library that has been waiting for someone like you. It is called the Book of Wonders. To find it, you must solve a riddle and demonstrate the qualities of a true hero." He handed Alara a golden key and said, "This key will open the door to the Book of Wonders, but first, you must solve this riddle. I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" Alara thought for a moment and then replied, "A map." "Very good," Alaric said. "Now, follow the path of the golden light to find the door. Use the key to unlock it." Alara followed the golden light that seemed to guide her through the library's endless corridors. She finally reached a large, ornate door with intricate carvings of mythical creatures. With a deep breath, she used the key to unlock it. The door opened to reveal a magnificent room bathed in a golden glow. In the center of the room stood the Book of Wonders, resting on a pedestal surrounded by a soft, shimmering light. Alara approached the book and opened it gently. As she did, the book's pages began to turn on their own, revealing stories of brave heroes, magical lands, and wondrous adventures. The room filled with the sounds of enchanting music, and images from the book came to life, swirling around Alara like a vivid dream. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the room. "Alara, you have shown great curiosity and bravery. The magic of this library is now yours to explore. But remember, true magic lies not just in the stories but in the heart of the reader." Alara spent hours exploring the magical tales, meeting mythical creatures, and embarking on incredible adventures. She realized that the real magic came from the power of imagination and the joy of discovering new worlds through stories. When Alara finally left the library, she felt a sense of fulfillment and wonder. Alaric bade her farewell with a knowing smile. "You have proven yourself worthy, Alara. The library will always be here for you, and its magic will be a part of you." As Alara returned to her village, she shared the tales and magic she had experienced with everyone. The library's enchantment continued to inspire and delight, and Alara's stories became legendary among the villagers. And so, the hidden library remained a beacon of wonder and imagination, waiting for the next curious soul to discover its magic and embark on a journey of their own. The end. Once upon a time, in the heart of the kingdom of Aurelia, there was a mysterious forest known as the Starlit Grove. Unlike any other forest, the trees of Starlit Grove sparkled with tiny, star-like lights that glimmered even in the day. The villagers believed that the grove was enchanted, but no one knew the true secret behind its magic. In the nearby village of Willowbrook lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Eloan. Eloan had always been fascinated by the Starlit Grove and dreamed of uncovering its secret. The villagers, however, were wary of the grove, for they had heard stories of travelers who had ventured in and never returned. One evening, as the sun set and the stars began to twinkle, Eloan noticed a particularly bright star in the sky that seemed to be beckoning her. She decided that this was her chance to explore the grove and discover its mystery. Armed with a lantern, a map, and a small bag of supplies, she ventured into the forest just as the first stars began to appear. The entrance to the Starlit Grove was a grand archway of intertwined branches that shimmered with soft light. As Eloan stepped through, the grove welcomed her with a warm, twinkling glow. The path ahead was lined with glowing flowers and whispering leaves that seemed to guide her deeper into the forest. Her first challenge was a sparkling river that flowed with water like liquid starlight. A graceful water nymph named Leora appeared, floating above the river. To pass, Leora said with a melodious voice, "You must solve this riddle. I can be cracked, made, told, and played." "What am I?" Eloan thought for a moment and answered confidently, "A joke." Leora smiled and created a path of floating lily pads across the river, allowing Eloan to continue her journey. As Eloan crossed the river, she came upon a clearing where a majestic, ancient oak tree stood at its center. The tree was surrounded by a circle of luminous mushrooms. Beneath the tree sat an old, wise tortoise named Orin. To proceed, Orin said, "You must prove your understanding of true courage. Answer this question: what is the one thing you can give that will never diminish and grows only when shared?" Eloan thought deeply and answered, "Love." Orin nodded approvingly, and the mushrooms glowed brighter, revealing a hidden pathway that led Eloan deeper into the grove. The path eventually led Eloan to a grand, moonlit glade where the air was filled with the sweet scent of night-blooming flowers. At the center of the glade stood a grand pedestal with an ornate, silver chest resting upon it. As Eloan approached, the chest began to glow with a soft, inviting light. Suddenly, a celestial figure emerged from the shadows, a beautiful fairy with wings that sparkled like the night sky. She was the guardian of the Starlit Grove, named Seraphina. To uncover the secret of the Starlit Grove, Seraphina said, "You must answer one final question. What is the one thing that everyone can give, yet it is always free and never taken away?" Eloan thought hard and then said, "A smile." Seraphina smiled warmly and opened the silver chest. Inside was a radiant, star-shaped gem that seemed to pulse with the heartbeat of the grove. Seraphina explained that this gem was the source of the grove's magic. It held the essence of hope and joy, which gave the grove its enchanting glow. The true secret of the Starlit Grove, Seraphina said, is that its magic comes from the happiness and kindness shared by those who visit. Your heart has shown that you understand this. Eloan was honored to learn the secret and was entrusted with a small, glowing fragment of the star-shaped gem. She returned to Willowbrook with a heart full of joy and a story to share. The villagers, inspired by Eloan's bravery in the grove's magic, began to visit the Starlit Grove more often, spreading kindness and happiness. The grove continued to shine brightly, and its magic flourished as the villagers embraced the true spirit of its enchantment. Eloan's tale became a beloved legend in Willowbrook, a reminder of the power of kindness and the magic that exists when hearts are filled with love. And so, the Starlit Grove remained a beacon of light and joy in the kingdom of Aurelia, and Eloan lived happily ever after, cherished for her courage and the happiness she brought to her village. Once upon a time, in a land where emerald forests met shimmering lakes, there was a hidden village called Luminera. This village was renowned for its enchanting music, which was said to be woven from moonlight and stardust. Every evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the village would light up with a soft, magical glow, and the air would be filled with melodies that seemed to touch the very soul. The source of this enchanting music was a young woman named Lyra. Lyra was a gifted musician who played a silver harp passed down through generations in her family. The harp was rumored to be imbued with a touch of moon magic, but no one knew the full extent of its power except for Lyra. She had always believed that the harp held a special secret, but its mysteries remained hidden from her. One clear, moonlit night, as the village prepared for its annual Moonlight Festival, Lyra noticed something unusual. The moon was brighter than ever, casting a silvery glow over the village and its surroundings. The air was charged with an ethereal energy that made Lyra's harp vibrate softly as if it was responding to the moon's light. That night, as Lyra played her harp, the melodies took on a new, hauntingly beautiful quality. The notes seemed to dance on the breeze, creating shimmering patterns of light and shadow. The villagers were mesmerized by the music, feeling as though they were floating in a dream. As the festival reached its peak, a mysterious figure appeared at the edge of the village. He was cloaked in a deep, midnight blue robe that sparkled like the night sky, and his eyes shone with an otherworldly light. He watched Lyra intently as she played, his expression a mix of curiosity and admiration. After the performance, the figure approached Lyra. "Your music is extraordinary," he said, his voice like a gentle breeze. "I am Orion, a guardian of the moon's secrets. The time has come for you to uncover the true magic of your harp." Lyra was astonished but intrigued. "How can I uncover its magic?" Orion smiled. "The harp's power is connected to the moon's light. On this night, when the moon is at its fullest, you have the chance to reveal its hidden potential. Follow me, and I will guide you." Orion led Lyra to a secluded glade at the edge of the forest. The moonlight here was particularly intense, bathing the glade in a soft, silvery light. At the center of the glade was a stone altar, and beside it, a small pool of crystal clear water. "Place your harp upon the altar," Orion instructed, "and play a melody that comes from your heart." Lyra placed her harp on the altar and began to play. As she strummed the strings, a gentle, harmonious sound filled the glade. The moonlight seemed to respond, growing brighter and swirling around her like a magical mist. The notes from the harp floated into the air, merging with the moonlight to create a stunning spectacle of light and sound. Suddenly, the water in the pool began to glow, and a vision appeared on its surface. It was a beautiful, shimmering realm that looked like a dreamscape of stars and moonlight. The vision revealed a hidden garden, where flowers glowed with an otherworldly light and trees sparkled like constellations. Orion spoke again, his voice full of wonder. "The vision you see is the heart of the moon, a place where dreams and magic are born. Your harp has the power to unlock the gateway to this realm. To open it, you must play a melody that harmonizes with the heartbeat of the moon." Lyra focused deeply, allowing her music to flow with the rhythm of her heart and the pulse of the moonlight. The melody she played was a perfect blend of hope, joy, and wonder. As the final note resonated through the air, the vision on the water grew brighter, and a shimmering portal appeared above the pool. The portal led to the heart of the moon, and Lyra stepped through it with Orion guiding her. As she entered the magical realm, she was greeted by a breathtaking landscape of luminescent flowers and ethereal creatures. The air was filled with the sweet scent of moonflowers, and the ground sparkled like a blanket of stardust. In the center of this magical garden stood a majestic, ancient tree with silver leaves that shimmered like liquid moonlight. Orion led Lyra to the tree, where she saw a small, golden chest nestled among its roots. "This chest holds the essence of the moon's magic," Orion explained. "It is yours to protect and share with the world. Your music has awakened the heart of the moon, and now you have the gift of its magic." Lyra opened the chest, and inside, she found a delicate silver pendant that glowed softly with moonlight. She knew that this pendant was a symbol of her connection to the moon's magic and that it would enhance her music in ways she had never imagined. With the pendant safely around her neck, Lyra returned to Luminera, where her music took on a new, enchanting quality. The melodies she played now carried the magic of the moon, filling the village with a sense of wonder and joy. The Moonlight Festival became a celebration of not just music but the magic that united the heart and the cosmos. And so, Lyra's melodies continued to weave moonlight and dreams into every note, reminding the villagers of the beauty and magic that lay within their own hearts and the world around them. Once upon a time, in a quaint little village nestled in a green valley, there lived a tiny mouse named Milo. Milo was known throughout the village for his curiosity and adventurous spirit. While other mice scurried around collecting crumbs and hiding from danger, Milo dreamed of exploring the world beyond the village. One sunny morning, as Milo was wandering near the edge of the forest, he overheard a group of villagers talking about a dragon that lived in a mountain cave. The dragon, they said, guarded a treasure of unimaginable wealth. The villagers were too afraid to approach the mountain, fearing the dragon's fiery breath. Milo's eyes sparkled with excitement. A dragon and a treasure? What an adventure that would be, he thought. Despite his small size, Milo was determined to find the dragon's cave and see the treasure for himself. The next day, Milo set out on his journey. He packed a small satchel with bits of cheese, bread, and a tiny lantern. As he ventured into the forest, the trees towered above him, and the path was filled with shadows. But Milo was not afraid. He followed the stories he had heard, keeping his ears alert for any sign of danger. After several days of traveling, Milo reached the foot of the mountain. The path up the mountain was steep and treacherous, but Milo climbed with determination. He used his sharp claws to grip the rocky surface and his keen senses to navigate the narrow ledges. Finally, after a long and tiring climb, Milo reached the entrance of the dragon's cave. The cave was vast and dark, with a faint glow emanating from deep within. Milo lit his tiny lantern and cautiously entered the cave. As he ventured deeper, Milo saw piles of gold coins, sparkling jewels, and precious artifacts. But at the center of it all, lying on a bed of gold, was the dragon. The dragon was enormous, with shimmering green scales and eyes that glowed like embers. Milo's heart pounded in his chest, but he took a deep breath and stepped forward. "Excuse me, mighty dragon," he squeaked, "I am Milo, a humble mouse from the village. I have come to see the legendary treasure you guard." The dragon opened one eye and looked at Milo with curiosity. "A brave little mouse, indeed," the dragon rumbled. "Most creatures flee at the sight of me. What do you seek, Milo?" Milo stood tall, despite his small size. "I seek adventure and knowledge. I want to see the world and understand its wonders. Your treasure is part of that wonder." The dragon chuckled, a sound like distant thunder. "You are brave and honest, little mouse. I admire your courage. But tell me, what would you do with my treasure if you could take it?" Milo thought for a moment. "I would share it with my village. We have many who are poor and hungry. Your treasure could bring them comfort and happiness." The dragon nodded thoughtfully. "Very well, Milo. You may take a single item from my treasure, but choose wisely. Sometimes, the smallest treasures hold the greatest value." Milo scanned the piles of gold and jewels, his eyes finally resting on a small, intricately carved wooden box. It was plain compared to the glittering treasures, but something about it drew him in. He picked up the box and opened it, revealing a shimmering crystal inside. "This crystal is beautiful," Milo said, holding it up. "I choose this." The dragon smiled. "An excellent choice. That crystal holds the power to grant a single wish. Use it wisely, Milo." With the crystal in his satchel, Milo thanked the dragon and began his journey back to the village. The climb down the mountain was just as challenging, but Milo's heart was light with excitement. When he finally returned to the village, the villagers gathered around, eager to hear about his adventure. Milo showed them the crystal and explained its power. The villagers were amazed and asked Milo what he would wish for. Milo held the crystal close and made his wish. "I wish for our village to prosper, for no one to go hungry, and for everyone to live in peace and happiness." The crystal glowed brightly and then disappeared in a burst of light. Suddenly, the village seemed to transform. Fields flourished with abundant crops, houses repaired themselves, and the air was filled with joy and laughter. The villagers cheered and celebrated, grateful for Milo's bravery and wisdom. From that day on, the village thrived, and Milo was hailed as a hero. He continued to explore and have adventures, but he always remembered the lesson of the dragon's treasure, that the greatest wealth lies in helping others and sharing happiness. And so, Milo the brave little mouse lived a life full of adventure, kindness, and joy, knowing that even the smallest creatures can make the biggest difference. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a shimmering lake, there was a small, magical forest known as the Moonlight Grove. The villagers believed that the grove was home to a special kind of magic that only appeared when the moon was full and bright. In this village lived a young girl named Lena. Lena was curious and kind-hearted, and she loved to explore the forest, especially during the full moon. Her grandmother, who had once told her enchanting stories about the grove, had always warned her about one thing: never touch the starry lantern. The starry lantern was a legendary object said to hold the power to grant any wish. It was hidden deep within the forest and could only be seen during the full moon. Despite her grandmother's warnings, Lena was intrigued by the stories and often wondered what it would be like to see the lantern. One crisp, clear night, when the full moon was especially bright, Lena decided to venture into the forest. She had heard rumors that the lantern was appearing this night, and her curiosity got the better of her. With a lantern of her own and a small basket of food, she set off into the moonlit woods. As Lena walked deeper into the forest, she marveled at the way the moonlight danced on the leaves, casting enchanting shadows. The path was illuminated with a soft glow, leading her towards the heart of the forest. After a while, she reached a clearing bathed in moonlight, where the air seemed to shimmer with magic. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient oak tree with branches that sparkled as if adorned with tiny stars. Hanging from one of its branches was the starry lantern. It glowed with a mesmerizing light, its surface covered in delicate patterns that shifted and changed like the night sky. Lena approached the lantern with a mixture of awe and trepidation. She remembered her grandmother's warning but felt an irresistible pull towards it. The lantern's glow seemed to beckon her closer. As Lena reached out and touched the lantern, a gentle voice spoke. "Welcome, Lena. I am the Starry Lantern. You have shown great courage to find me, and now I can grant you one wish. But remember, wishes made from the heart are the most powerful." Lena was taken aback but quickly gathered her thoughts. She knew exactly what she wished for. She had seen her village struggle with harsh winters and poor harvests. Her wish was simple yet profound. She wanted her village to always have enough food and warmth to get through the hardest of times. With a deep breath, Lena spoke her wish aloud. "I wish for my village to always have enough food and warmth, so no one has to go hungry or cold." The lantern's light grew brighter, and the air around Lena seemed to swirl with a soft, warm breeze. "Your wish is granted," the lantern said. "Remember, true magic comes from the heart. Share this magic with others, and it will grow." As Lena made her way back to the village, she felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. She arrived to find her village bustling with newfound energy. The fields were lush with crops, and the village had an abundance of food and warmth. Everyone was puzzled but grateful for the sudden change in their fortunes. Lena knew the magic of the Starry Lantern had worked, but she also knew that her village's kindness and unity were just as important. She shared the story of her adventure and encouraged everyone to work together and support each other. From that day on, the village thrived. The villagers learned that the true magic lay not just in the lantern, but in their own hearts and their willingness to help one another. And each full moon, Lena would visit the Moonlight Grove to remember the magic of that night and the power of a selfless wish. The end. Once upon a time, in a lush, green valley surrounded by towering mountains, there was a peaceful village named Everwood. The village was known for its vibrant meadows, enchanted forests, and a crystal-clear pond at its center, which was rumored to have magical properties. The pond was said to grant one wish every 100 years, but it had been centuries since anyone had made a wish or seen the magical results. In this village lived a clever and kind-hearted young girl named Elowen. Iloan loved exploring the forest and had a special bond with the animals that lived there. One sunny afternoon, while wandering near the crystal pond, Iloan spotted a beautiful silver fox with a bushy tail and shimmering fur. The fox had eyes as bright as sapphires and seemed to be searching for something. Intrigued, Iloan approached the fox. "Hello, friend," she said gently. "Can I help you with something?" The silver fox turned to her and spoke in a soft, melodic voice. "I am in search of the Moonstone, a gem of great power that was lost long ago. It is said that the Moonstone is hidden near this pond, and I need it to restore balance to the magical creatures of the forest." Iloan was fascinated and offered to help the silver fox in its quest. Together, they began searching the area around the pond. As they searched, the fox told Iloan about the Moonstone's history. It had once been a source of light and harmony, but it was stolen by a dark sorcerer who wished to use its power for evil. The sorcerer had hidden the Moonstone, and its absence had caused discord among the magical creatures. As they searched, Iloan noticed that the pond's water seemed to glow softly in the moonlight, and there was a gentle hum coming from beneath the surface. Guided by the light and the hum, she and the fox waded into the pond. Iloan reached into the water, feeling around until her fingers touched something smooth and cool. She pulled out a small, ornate box covered in ancient runes. The box was intricately carved with symbols of the moon and stars. With the fox's guidance, Iloan opened the box, revealing the Moonstone nestled inside. It was a gem of breathtaking beauty, radiating a soft, silvery light that seemed to dance with the reflection of the moon. The silver fox's eyes sparkled with joy. "You have found it. Now we must return it to the heart of the forest, where it belongs." Iloan and the silver fox journeyed deeper into the forest, guided by the light of the Moonstone. They passed through dense thickets and over sparkling streams, following a path that seemed to be illuminated by the gem's glow. Along the way, they encountered various magical creatures, talking birds, gentle deer, and mischievous fairies, all of whom thanked Iloan for finding the Moonstone. When they reached the heart of the forest, a sacred grove surrounded by ancient trees and shimmering flowers, the silver fox placed the Moonstone on a pedestal at the center of the grove. As the Moonstone was set in place, it released a brilliant burst of light that filled the entire grove with a warm, soothing glow. The balance was restored to the forest, and the magical creatures rejoiced. The trees seemed to hum with renewed vitality, and the flowers bloomed more brightly than ever. The silver fox turned to Iloan with gratitude in its eyes. "You have done a great deed. The Moonstone is where it belongs, and harmony has been restored." As a token of their thanks, the creatures of the forest presented Iloan with a small, delicate charm made from the petals of enchanted flowers. The charm glowed softly, a symbol of the magical bond she had formed with the forest. Iloan returned to Everwood, where she was welcomed as a hero. The village celebrated her bravery and kindness with a grand feast, and the crystal pond became a place of wonder and peace once more. The magical creatures of the forest continued to visit the village, sharing their stories and adding to the village's charm. The tale of Iloan and the silver fox became a cherished legend in Everwood, a story told to every child as a reminder of the power of courage, kindness, and the magic that exists in every corner of the world. And so, the valley thrived in harmony, with Iloan's heart forever connected to the enchanted forest and the shimmering Moonstone. Once upon a time, in a quiet village nestled by the edge of a sparkling lake, there was a tale of a rare flower known as the moonflower. This flower was said to bloom only once every 100 years, on the night of the blue moon. Its petals were as white as snow, and its fragrance was said to bring clarity and peace to anyone who smelled it. The moonflower was said to possess magical properties, but no one had ever seen it, as it bloomed deep in the heart of the whispering forest. In this village lived a kind-hearted girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her love of the forest and her deep connection with nature. She often helped the villagers with their crops and tended to the local wildlife. Despite her simple life, Lyra felt a deep yearning to find the moonflower and unlock its mysteries, believing it could bring great benefit to her village. One evening, as the blue moon rose high in the sky, casting a silvery glow over the landscape, Lyra made up her mind to venture into the Whispering Forest. She packed a small satchel with essentials, a lantern, some bread and cheese, and a warm cloak. The forest was known for its enchanting yet enigmatic nature, so Lyra prepared for an adventure. As she entered the forest, the trees seemed to whisper and sway with the wind, guiding her deeper into their midst. The moonlight filtered through the canopy, creating a magical, shimmering path. Lyra followed this path, her heart filled with hope and excitement. After some time, she came to a clearing where a large, ancient tree stood, its trunk covered in glowing moss. At the base of the tree was a small, intricately carved door. Lyra approached the door and noticed an inscription: "To find the moonflower, you must show the virtues of the heart. Help those in need, listen to the whispers of the forest, and the path will be revealed." Lyra nodded, understanding the task ahead. She continued through the forest, and soon she encountered a family of deer trapped in a thicket of brambles. With gentle hands and a soothing voice, Lyra carefully freed the deer, who looked at her with gratitude before bounding away. Next, she heard the cries of a wounded owl perched high in a tree. Climbing carefully, Lyra tended to the owl's injury and helped it return to its nest. The owl hooted in thanks, and its eyes sparkled with wisdom. Finally, Lyra came to a babbling brook where the water had grown muddy and still. She noticed that the brook was choked with debris and worked tirelessly to clear it, restoring the water's crystal clarity. As she worked, she heard the faintest whisper of gratitude from the forest itself. With her tasks complete, Lyra returned to the ancient tree and found that the door had opened slightly, revealing a hidden passage. She stepped through and found herself in a beautiful, moonlit glade. In the center of the glade was a single, radiant moonflower in full bloom, its petals glowing softly in the moonlight. Lyra approached the moonflower, mesmerized by its beauty and the calming aura it radiated. As she leaned in to inhale its fragrance, she felt a profound sense of peace and clarity. The moonlight seemed to dance around her, and she understood the true magic of the moonflower was not just in its appearance, but in the serenity it brought. With great reverence, Lyra picked a single petal from the moonflower and carefully placed it in a small, glass vial. She knew the flower's magic could bring much-needed peace and hope to her village. Returning home, Lyra was greeted with awe and gratitude. She used the moonflower's petal to create a calming elixir that brought comfort and clarity to the villagers. The elixir helped them find harmony in their lives, and the village flourished with newfound tranquility and happiness. The tale of Lyra and the moonflower became a cherished legend in the village, a reminder of the virtues of kindness, bravery, and listening to the whispers of the heart. The Whispering Forest remained a place of wonder and magic, where legends were born and hearts were healed. And so, Lyra's adventure with the moonflower became a beloved story, teaching that true magic is found in the virtues of the heart and the courage to help others. Once upon a time, in a village nestled between majestic mountains and a sparkling river, there lived a curious boy named Finn. Finn was known for his bright blue eyes and adventurous spirit. His favorite place to explore was the Whispering Meadow, a beautiful field just beyond the village where wildflowers swayed and the wind told ancient tales. One warm summer evening, as Finn wandered through the meadow, he stumbled upon a hidden path he had never noticed before. The path was lined with twinkling fireflies, leading him towards a secluded grove. At the heart of the grove was a small, shimmering pond that seemed to glow with an otherworldly light. As Finn approached the pond, he noticed that the water was filled with tiny, sparkling stars. The pond was like nothing he had ever seen before. Curious, he knelt by the edge and gazed into the water. To his amazement, a gentle voice spoke from the pond. "Welcome, young traveler. You have discovered the Starlight Pond, a place of great magic and mystery." Finn looked around, searching for the source of the voice. "Who are you?" he asked. "I am Elara, the guardian of the Starlight Pond," the voice replied. "This pond holds a secret that can only be revealed to those with a pure heart and a brave spirit." Finn's eyes widened with excitement. "What secret?" Elara explained, "The pond has the power to grant one wish to someone who proves their worth by completing a quest. To unlock the magic, you must find the 3 hidden stars scattered across the land. Determined, Finn accepted the challenge. Elara told him that the first star was hidden in the Enchanted Forest, the second in the Cave of Echoes, and the third in the Valley of Shadows. Finn set off on his quest, starting with the Enchanted Forest. As he entered the forest, he was greeted by a friendly squirrel named Nutmeg. "Can you help me find a hidden star?" Finn asked. Nutmeg nodded eagerly. "I know the forest well. Follow me." They ventured deeper into the forest until they reached a large, ancient oak tree. Nutmeg explained that the star was hidden high up in the tree, but it could only be reached by solving a riddle. Nutmeg recited the riddle: "I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" Finn thought for a moment and then answered, "A map." The oak tree's branches parted, revealing a golden star nestled among the leaves. Finn took the star and thanked Nutmeg, continuing his journey to the Cave of Echoes. The cave was dark and eerie, but Finn was not afraid. Inside, he met a wise old bat named Sable, who guarded the second star. Sable explained that the star was hidden behind a wall of echoes, and Finn needed to use his voice to reveal it. Finn spoke out loud, reciting a poem he had learned from his grandmother. The echoes danced around him, creating a harmonious melody. As the echoes faded, the wall parted, revealing the second star. With the second star in hand, Finn proceeded to the Valley of Shadows. The valley was shrouded in darkness, and Finn could barely see. He was met by a shadowy figure named Shade, who guarded the final star. Shade challenged Finn to confront his deepest fear. Finn closed his eyes and took a deep breath, remembering the adventures he had faced and the friends he had made. He opened his eyes with newfound courage and stepped forward. Shade, impressed by Finn's bravery, handed him the final star and said, "You have faced your fears and proven your worth." With all 3 stars, Finn returned to the Starlight Pond. Elara emerged from the water, her form glowing with the light of the stars. She congratulated Finn and asked, "What is your wish?" Finn thought about it and said, "I wish for my village to always be filled with wonder, magic, and joy." Elara smiled and waved her hand. The stars from the pond rose into the sky, casting a brilliant light over the village. The village was soon filled with enchanting creatures, magical events, and a sense of wonder that never faded. Finn returned home, greeted as a hero. He shared his adventures with the villagers, and the Starlight Pond became a cherished place of magic and inspiration. And so, Finn's wish came true, and the village thrived with magic and happiness. Finn's bravery and pure heart became legendary, reminding everyone that magic could be found by those who dared to seek it. And they lived happily ever after. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where rolling meadows met ancient forests, there was a small village known as Stardust Hollow. The village was famous for its clear, night skies filled with twinkling stars, and every child was told stories of the Star Tree, a magical tree that bore the brightest star once every 100 years. According to legend, whoever found and made a wish upon the Star Tree's luminous star would have their deepest wish granted. However, the Star Tree was hidden deep within the Enchanted Forest, a place where magical creatures roamed and the paths were ever-changing. In Stardust Hollow lived a brave and curious girl named Lila. Lila had always dreamed of seeing the Star Tree and making a wish for her village, which had been struggling with a long drought. She believed that the magic of the Star Tree could bring the rain they so desperately needed. One clear night, as the stars sparkled overhead, Lila decided it was time to embark on the quest. She packed a small satchel with essentials, a map of the forest, a lantern, a few snacks, and a special locket that had been passed down in her family for generations. The locket was said to hold a piece of stardust, a gift from her grandmother who had once wished for hope and joy. With a determined heart, Lila set off towards the Enchanted Forest. As she entered the forest, the trees seemed to whisper and the path ahead glowed faintly with moonlight. Lila used the map and her locket to guide her, but the forest was full of surprises. After walking for hours, Lila encountered a mischievous squirrel who was busy collecting acorns. The squirrel chattered excitedly and said, "To find the star tree, you must solve 3 riddles. Only then will the way reveal itself." Lila agreed, and the squirrel began the first riddle. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Lila thought for a moment and answered, "An echo." "Correct," said the squirrel, handing her a small, glowing acorn. "This will help you on your journey. Now, for the second riddle, I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Lila pondered and then said, "A joke." "Very good," said the squirrel, giving her another glowing acorn. "For the final riddle, I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" After some thought, Lila answered, "A fire." The squirrel nodded approvingly and handed her the last glowing acorn. "You've done well. Follow the light of these acorns, and it will lead you to the star tree." With the acorns in hand, Lila continued her journey. The glowing acorns cast a warm light through the dark forest, guiding her towards a hidden grove. As she entered the grove, she saw a magnificent tree standing tall in the center. Its branches were adorned with countless sparkling stars, and the largest star at the very top glowed with an enchanting brilliance. Lila approached the star tree and gazed up in awe. She took out her locket, which began to glow in response to the tree's light. With a heart full of hope, Lila closed her eyes and made a wish for rain to restore her village's land. As soon as she finished her wish, the large star at the top of the star tree began to shimmer and shoot a stream of stardust down towards Lila. The stardust danced around her, and the grove was filled with a warm, soothing light. Lila felt a gentle breeze and a sense of calm. The next morning, as Lila returned to her village, she found that dark clouds had gathered overhead, and rain began to fall. The drought was ending, and the land was being nourished once more. The villagers celebrated the return of the rain and marveled at the magic that had brought them hope. Lila's adventure and her wish for the village became a cherished story, told to every child in Stardust Hollow. The star tree's magic had not only brought rain but also reminded everyone of the power of hope and belief. And so, the village thrived under the renewed bounty of nature, and Lila's bravery and kindness became a lasting legacy. The enchanted forest continued to hold its secrets, and the star tree's light shone as a symbol of dreams fulfilled and wishes granted. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the moon bathed everything in silver light, there was a quaint village named Lunalore. The village was nestled in a valley surrounded by rolling hills and dense forests. It was known for its beautiful moonlit nights, when the moon seemed to touch the earth with its soft glow. In Lunalore lived a young girl named Mira. Mira had a special gift: she could talk to plants. From the tiniest flower to the tallest tree, Mira understood their whispers and songs. Every evening, she would wander the woods, tending to the plants and listening to their stories. One clear night, as Mira walked through the forest, she came across a hidden path she had never seen before. Curiosity piqued, she followed it until she reached a gate made of intertwined silver vines. The gate was adorned with glowing moonstones that shimmered in the moonlight. Mira gently pushed the gate open and stepped inside. Beyond the gate lay a breathtaking garden unlike anything Mira had ever seen. The garden was filled with luminescent flowers, their petals glowing softly in various shades of blue, pink, and violet. The air was filled with a sweet, enchanting fragrance, and the sound of delicate music seemed to emanate from the flowers themselves. In the center of the garden stood a grand, ancient oak tree with a hollow trunk. Mira approached the tree and noticed a small, intricately carved box nestled inside the hollow. The box was covered in strange, glowing symbols that seemed to pulse with the rhythm of the moonlight. As Mira reached for the box, a gentle voice spoke from behind her. "Welcome, kind soul," said a graceful fairy who appeared from among the flowers. Her wings sparkled like stardust, and her eyes twinkled with kindness. "I am Luna, the guardian of the moonlit garden." Mira, amazed and excited, responded, "Hello, Luna. This garden is magical. What is this box?" Luna smiled. This box holds the secret of the moonlit garden. It contains a powerful magic that has been hidden away for centuries. To unlock its power, one must prove their heart is pure and their intentions noble. Mira felt a sense of purpose and asked, "How can I prove that?" Luna floated closer and explained, "The box can only be opened by answering 3 riddles. Each riddle is a test of wisdom, compassion, and bravery. If you succeed, the secret within will be revealed." With determination in her eyes, Mira nodded. Luna began with the first riddle. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have nobody, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Mira thought carefully and then said, "An echo." The symbols on the box glowed warmly, and Luna nodded approvingly. "You have answered correctly. Now, for the second riddle, I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Mira pondered the riddle and then answered, "A joke." The box's glow intensified, and Luna's smile widened. "Well done. Now, the final riddle, I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Mira considered the riddle carefully. She thought of the things she had seen and experienced in her life. Finally, she said, "A fire." With that answer, the box's glow became blindingly bright.
That was not medicine.
The lid of the box slowly opened, revealing a shimmering orb of moonlight. The orb floated gently out of the box and hovered in front of Mira and Luna.
That was not medicine.
Luna spoke with reverence, "This is the heart of the garden. It holds the magic that keeps this garden alive and thriving. With its power, you can bring prosperity and harmony to your village." Mira was awestruck and asked, "How can I use this magic?" Luna's eyes shone with a gentle light. "The magic of the heart is meant to be shared. Use it with kindness and wisdom to help those in need. It will guide you in your journey." Mira took the heart of the garden with great care. As she left the magical garden and returned to her village, she carried with her a newfound sense of purpose. She used the garden's magic to help the villagers, heal the land, and bring joy and prosperity to Lunalore. The village flourished under Mira's care, and the garden remained a secret place of wonder, known only to those with a pure heart and noble intentions. And so, Mira's legend grew, and her name was remembered in stories and songs as the girl who discovered the secret of the moonlit garden and used its magic to bring light and love to her world. Once upon a time, in a lush, green valley bordered by towering mountains, lay a village named Eldoria. Eldoria was known for its beautiful gardens and friendly inhabitants, but most of all, it was renowned for the legendary silver tree that stood in the heart of the village. The silver tree was said to be enchanted, its leaves shimmering like silver in the sunlight and its branches humming a soothing, magical song at dusk. The villagers believed that the silver tree had been planted by the ancient forest spirits and that its song brought peace and prosperity to Eldoria. Each year, during the Moon Festival, the villagers gathered around the tree to listen to its melodious tune and celebrate their good fortune. One day, as the Moon Festival approached, a dark cloud seemed to settle over the village. The silver tree's song had grown faint, and its once sparkling leaves had lost their luster. The villagers were deeply troubled, for they knew that if the tree's song faded completely, their prosperity and happiness would be at risk. Among the villagers was a young girl named Elara. She was known for her adventurous spirit and her love for the village's traditions. Determined to save the silver tree, Elara decided to embark on a quest to discover the source of the problem. Elara approached the village elder, a wise woman named Grandmother Leora. "Grandmother Leora, what can I do to restore the silver tree's song?" Elara asked. Grandmother Leora sighed. "The silver tree's song is tied to an ancient enchantment. It is said that the heart of the tree, a magical crystal known as the Moonstone, has been taken. To restore its song, you must journey to the Shadow Peaks and retrieve the Moonstone." With a resolute heart, Elara set off on her quest. The Shadow Peaks were a range of mountains known for their rugged terrain and mysterious legends. Armed with a map, a sturdy staff, and a small bag of provisions, Elara began her climb. As she ascended the mountains, she faced several challenges. The first was a deep chasm with no visible bridge. As she pondered her way across, she noticed a series of stepping stones made of shimmering stone appearing and disappearing across the chasm. Summoning her courage, Elara timed her jumps carefully and made her way across safely. Her next challenge was to navigate through the Whispering Caves, a labyrinthine network of tunnels filled with confusing echoes. In the cave, a mischievous voice spoke to her. To find the right path, you must answer this: what has a heart that doesn't beat? Elara thought deeply and then answered, an artichoke. The voice chuckled and the path ahead cleared, leading Elara to a hidden chamber. There, she found a small, silver chest guarded by a gentle dragon with sparkling scales. You seek the moonstone, the dragon said with a warm voice. It is in this chest, but to retrieve it, you must prove your bravery and kindness. The dragon set 3 tasks for Elara. 1. Find a healing herb. Elara ventured into the nearby forest and found a rare herb that could heal a wounded creature. She used it to mend the wing of a small, injured bird. 2. Solve the riddle of the stars. The dragon presented a constellation map with a riddle about the stars. Elara solved it by aligning the stars correctly, revealing the hidden path. 3. Show compassion. Elara encountered a band of lost mountain goats who needed help finding their way home. She guided them safely back to their herd. Having completed the tasks, the dragon opened the chest and handed Elara the moonstone. It glowed with a soft, silver light, pulsating with the same energy as the silver tree's lost psalm. With the moonstone in her possession, Elara made her way back to Eldoria. As she approached the village, she saw the silver tree's branches drooping and the leaves dull. She placed the moonstone at the base of the tree, and a brilliant light erupted, restoring the tree's shimmering leaves and filling the air with its melodious song. The village erupted in joyous celebration as the silver tree's song rang out stronger and more beautiful than ever before. The villagers praised Elara for her bravery and kindness, and the Moon Festival was celebrated with renewed fervor. Elara's adventure became a cherished story in Eldoria, a tale of courage and the power of a pure heart. The silver tree continued to thrive, its song a reminder of the harmony between the village and the magical forest that surrounded it. And so, the village of Eldoria lived in happiness and prosperity, forever enchanted by the song of the silver tree and the brave girl who restored its magic. The enchanted lantern in a faraway land near the mountains touched the sky and the forests whispered ancient secrets. There was a village named Lumina. Lumina was a place of magic and wonder, known for its vibrant festivals and glowing lanterns that floated high into the night sky. These lanterns were not just for show, they were said to carry wishes to the stars. In this village lived a young girl named Mira. Mira was known for her bright smile and her boundless curiosity. Her greatest dream was to see the world beyond Lumina and to find the legendary enchanted lantern, a mystical artifact said to grant a single wish to anyone who found it. The mysterious map. One crisp autumn evening, as the village prepared for the annual Lantern Festival, Mira discovered an old, dusty map hidden in her grandmother's attic. The map was adorned with intricate symbols and a glowing path leading to the enchanted lantern. Excited by her discovery, Mira decided to embark on a quest to find it. Before she left, Mira's grandmother gave her a small, silver locket that had been passed down through generations. This locket, her grandmother said, will guide you in times of need. Trust in its light and your heart. The journey begins with the map in hand and the locket around her neck. Mira set out on her adventure. The map led her through dense forests, over sparkling rivers, and up steep, misty mountains. Along the way, Mira encountered several magical creatures, a wise old owl, a playful brook sprite, and a gentle giant named Gorm. Each creature offered Mira a piece of advice. The owl spoke of the importance of wisdom and patience, the sprite warned her of hidden challenges, and Gorm advised her to rely on her courage and kindness. The hidden cavern. After days of traveling, Mira arrived at the base of a towering mountain. The map showed that the enchanted lantern was hidden in a secret cavern within the mountain. As she ventured into the dark cavern, the locket began to glow softly, illuminating her path. Inside the cavern, Mira faced a series of trials, a maze of glowing vines, a river of shimmering mist, and a bridge guarded by a riddle-speaking dragon. With the help of the locket's light and her newfound wisdom, Mira overcame each challenge with grace and determination. The enchanted lantern at last, Mira reached the heart of the cavern. There, on a pedestal bathed in a soft, golden light, was the enchanted lantern. It was more beautiful than she had ever imagined, with delicate patterns of starlight etched into its surface. Mira approached the lantern, her heart pounding with anticipation. She took a deep breath and made her wish. I wish for the happiness and well-being of my village and everyone in it. As soon as she spoke her wish, the enchanted lantern glowed brightly, and a warm, comforting light filled the cavern. The light seemed to flow through Mira, filling her with a sense of peace and joy. A magical return. When Mira returned to Lumina, she was greeted with astonishment and celebration. The village was flourishing like never before, crops were bountiful, the rivers sparkled with clarity, and the lanterns floated higher and brighter than ever. Mira's bravery and selflessness had brought immense joy and prosperity to her village. The villagers celebrated with a grand festival, lighting lanterns that soared into the night sky, each one carrying a piece of their gratitude and love. A lasting legacy. The story of Mira and the enchanted lantern became a cherished tale in Lumina. Mira was remembered not just as a brave adventurer but as a beacon of hope and kindness. The locket she had used on her journey was placed in a special place in the village square, a reminder of the magic that lies in every act of selflessness and every wish made from the heart. And so, the village of Lumina continued to shine brightly under the light of its lanterns, forever guided by the courage and kindness of a young girl who had sought to bring happiness to her world. Once upon a time, in a land where rolling hills met shimmering lakes, there was a small village named Luminera. The village was nestled in a valley surrounded by towering pine trees, and its people were known for their kindness and laughter. But Luminera had a secret. Hidden deep within its heart was a magical grove where an ancient melody was said to weave its way through the trees. In this village lived a young girl named Elara. She was known for her wild curls and an ever-present sparkle in her eyes. Elara had a special gift. She could play the violin like no one else. Her music was so enchanting that even the birds would pause their singing to listen. However, despite her talent, she often felt a pang of sadness because she could not uncover the source of the mysterious melody that whispered through the grove every evening. One crisp autumn afternoon, as Elara sat by the edge of the grove, she heard the melody more clearly than ever before. It was both haunting and beautiful, weaving through the trees like a silken thread. Determined to find its source, Elara decided that tonight she would stay in the grove. As the sun dipped below the horizon and the first stars began to twinkle, Elara nestled beneath a great oak tree with her violin. She began to play, her notes mingling with the ethereal melody that filled the air. For a while, there was only the music, until the grove began to shimmer with a soft, golden light. From the light stepped a graceful figure with silver hair that sparkled like moonlight. She was the fairy queen of the enchanted grove, a being of such beauty that even the stars seemed to dim in her presence. "Welcome, Elara," the fairy queen said, her voice like a gentle breeze. "I've been waiting for you." Elara was both astonished and delighted. "You know my name?" The fairy queen nodded. "The grove has whispered of your talent and your quest. You wish to uncover the source of the melody?" Elara's eyes widened. "Yes, but why? Why does it matter so much to me?" The fairy queen smiled. "The melody is a gift from the heart of the grove. A reflection of its soul. It was given to us long ago to ensure that the magic of Luminera would never fade. But as time passed, the melody began to weaken, and the magic of the grove grew faint." Elara's heart ached at the thought. "What can I do to help?" The fairy queen extended her hand, and a small, glowing pendant appeared. "This is the Harmony Amulet. It holds the essence of the grove's magic. By playing the melody with this amulet, you can renew the grove's enchantment." Elara took the amulet with reverence. "How do I play it?" "Listen closely," the fairy queen said. "The amulet will guide you." With the amulet in hand, Elara took her place beneath the oak tree. She closed her eyes and began to play her violin. As she did, the amulet began to glow brighter, and the melody she played resonated with the grove's ancient tune. The trees swayed in rhythm, and the stars above seemed to twinkle in harmony. The magic of the grove began to awaken. Flowers bloomed in the moonlight, and the once dim glow of the enchanted grove became a brilliant tapestry of light and color. Elara's heart swelled with joy as she felt the magic course through her music. When the final note faded into the night, the Fairy Queen appeared once more. "You have done it, Elara. The magic of the grove is restored, thanks to your talent and your heart." Elara beamed. "But what will happen now?" "The melody will remain strong," the Fairy Queen said. "And you, Elara, will always be a part of it. Your music has become one with the grove's magic. Whenever you play, the grove will sing along with you." Elara felt a profound sense of peace. "Thank you, Fairy Queen." As dawn approached, the Fairy Queen and the enchanted grove began to fade, their light merging with the morning sun. Elara returned to the village, where the people greeted her with cheers and wonder. She continued to play her violin, and every evening, as the sun set, her music would blend with the magical melody of the grove, creating a symphony that filled Luminera with joy and enchantment. And so, the village thrived, always bathed in the soft, golden light of the enchanted grove. Elara's music became a legend, and the melody that had once been a secret now danced through the hearts of everyone in Luminera. And they all lived happily ever after. In a quaint village nestled by a vast, enchanted forest, there was a small, old-fashioned house with a cobblestone path that led to a charming garden filled with wildflowers. The house belonged to an elderly man named Thorn, known by everyone as the Lantern Keeper. Thorn was a solitary figure who lived in harmony with the forest and tended to a collection of magical lanterns that adorned his garden and home. Each lantern was unique, crafted from shimmering glass and intricate metalwork, and each held its own special magic. The villagers knew little about the lanterns, except that they seemed to glow brighter when the forest was in need. Thorn never spoke much about them, preferring instead to quietly go about his work, always ensuring that the lanterns were lit and in good condition. One warm summer evening, a young girl named Lyra, full of curiosity and wonder, decided to visit the Lantern Keeper. Lyra had heard whispers of a special lantern, one that was said to hold a secret powerful enough to change the fate of the entire village. The village had been experiencing strange happenings, crops failing, animals acting oddly, and a pervasive feeling of unease in the air. Lyra hoped that Thorn might know something that could help. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the village, Lyra made her way to Thorn's home. She knocked on the door, and after a moment, it creaked open to reveal Thorn's warm, inviting smile. "Good evening, Lyra," Thorn greeted her. "What brings you here?" Lyra took a deep breath and stepped inside. "I've come to ask about the lanterns. The village is troubled, and I've heard that there might be one lantern that holds a secret to help us." Thorn's eyes twinkled with a hint of sadness. "Ah, the lanterns. They do indeed hold magic, but each lantern's magic is bound to its own purpose. There is one lantern, however, that may hold the key to solving your village's troubles. It is called the Lantern of Echoes." Thorn led Lyra to a hidden corner of his garden, where a lantern of delicate design sat upon a pedestal. The Lantern of Echoes was unlike the others, with its glass surface etched in swirling patterns that seemed to shift and change with the light. Its glow was soft but warm, casting intricate shadows on the surrounding plants. "This lantern," Thorn explained, "has the power to reveal hidden truths. But its light only works when it is filled with the essence of sincere courage and selflessness." Lyra looked at the lantern with a mixture of awe and determination. "How can I harness its power?" Thorn nodded. "The lantern's power is activated by a simple yet profound act of bravery and compassion. You must be willing to face your fears and put the needs of others before your own. Only then will the lantern reveal its secret." With a heart full of resolve, Lyra agreed to undertake the task. Thorn handed her a small, enchanted pouch. "This pouch contains a drop of magic from the forest. Use it wisely, and remember to stay true to your heart." Lyra thanked Thorn and set out into the forest with the Lantern of Echoes. As she walked, she encountered various challenges: a frightened deer caught in a snare, a tree blocking her path, and a deep ravine she needed to cross. Each time, Lyra faced the challenge with bravery and kindness, helping the deer, clearing the path, and finding a safe way across the ravine. With each act of selflessness, the Lantern of Echoes began to glow brighter. The forest seemed to respond to her actions, and a gentle breeze carried her forward. Finally, she reached a serene glade bathed in moonlight. At the center of the glade was a crystal-clear spring, and the Lantern of Echoes began to shine with a brilliant, silver light. The light from the lantern reflected off the water, revealing a hidden message inscribed on a large stone at the edge of the spring. The message read, "To restore balance and harmony, one must listen with an open heart and act with courage and kindness." Lyra understood that the secret of the Lantern of Echoes was not just about magical solutions but about embodying the values of courage and compassion. She knew that the key to solving the village's troubles lay in these principles. Returning to the village, Lyra shared her experiences and the message from the lantern. Inspired by her bravery and the wisdom she had gained, the villagers rallied together to address the issues facing their community. They worked to mend broken relationships, help one another through difficulties, and approach their problems with renewed hope and cooperation. The village began to thrive once more, with crops growing lush and animals returning to their normal behavior. The Lantern Keeper's home remained a place of wonder, and Lyra's courageous journey became a cherished story told throughout the village for generations. And so, the Lantern of Echoes continued to shine softly in Thorn's garden, a symbol of the power of selflessness and the light that courage and kindness can bring to even the darkest of times. In the heart of the lush green forest, where trees whispered ancient secrets and flowers sparkled like gemstones, there stood a quaint village called Willowbrook. The villagers lived in harmony with nature, and their lives were guided by a mysterious, magical mirror. This mirror, known as the Enchanted Mirror, was no ordinary looking glass. It was said to have been created by the ancient fairy queen Lyra, and it possessed the power to reveal one's true self and grant wishes of the pure-hearted. For generations, the mirror had been the village's guardian, protecting it from harm and ensuring prosperity. One day, a curious girl named Elara, with hair as dark as midnight and eyes like the deep blue sea, stumbled upon the mirror while exploring the forest. She had heard tales of the mirror's magic but had never seen it with her own eyes. As she gazed into its shimmering surface, she saw a reflection not of herself but of a young prince trapped in a distant castle. The prince, who appeared to be in great distress, was trying to reach out from the mirror, his eyes pleading for help. Elara's heart ached for him, and without hesitation, she made a wish. "I wish to help the prince," she whispered, her voice full of determination. The enchanted mirror glowed brightly, and a swirling vortex of light enveloped Elara. When the light faded, she found herself standing in a grand hall of a magnificent castle, surrounded by towering walls and opulent tapestries. The prince, whose name was Prince Rowan, stood before her, looking both relieved and astonished. "Thank you for coming," Prince Rowan said with a bow. "I have been trapped in this mirror by an evil sorceress named Morgana. She cast a spell on me because she was envious of the mirror's magic and wanted to use it for her own dark purposes." Elara listened intently as Prince Rowan explained that Morgana had hidden the mirror in a secret chamber, and the only way to break the spell was to find it and destroy the sorceress's dark magic. Determined to help, Elara and Prince Rowan embarked on a quest through the castle's enchanted halls. Along the way, they encountered talking animals, mischievous fairies, and riddles that tested their wit and bravery. Each challenge they overcame brought them closer to the mirror and the sorceress. After many trials, they reached the secret chamber where Morgana had hidden the mirror. The chamber was filled with dark shadows and eerie silence. Morgana, a tall and fearsome figure with eyes like molten gold, stood in the center, her staff crackling with dark magic. "You think you can thwart my plans?" Morgana sneered as Elara and Prince Rowan entered. "This mirror will be mine, and I will use its power to rule all the lands." Elara and Prince Rowan faced Morgana with courage. Using the knowledge and skills they had gained during their journey, they battled the sorceress. Ilara, guided by her pure heart and the magic of the mirror, found the strength to counter Morgana's dark spells. With Prince Rowan by her side, they managed to break the sorceress's staff, shattering the dark magic that had trapped the prince. As Morgana's power dissipated, she vanished into the shadows, never to be seen again. The enchanted mirror, now free from dark influence, glowed with a warm, welcoming light. It revealed to Ilara and Prince Rowan the path back to Willowbrook. Before they left, Prince Rowan took Ilara's hand and thanked her for her bravery and kindness. "You have not only saved me but also restored the mirror's magic. You are a true hero." With a final wave of the mirror's magic, Ilara and Prince Rowan returned to Willowbrook. The villagers welcomed them with open arms, celebrating their victory in the restoration of the enchanted mirror's power. The mirror, once again a beacon of hope and magic, continued to guard the village and guide those with pure hearts. As for Ilara, she became a cherished legend in Willowbrook, known for her bravery and selflessness. And whenever the villagers looked into the enchanted mirror, they were reminded of the girl who had ventured into the unknown, faced her fears, and saved not just a prince, but an entire kingdom. And so, the story of Ilara and the enchanted mirror was passed down through generations, a timeless tale of courage, magic, and the power of a kind heart. Once upon a time, in a village surrounded by vast emerald fields and rolling hills, there was a willow tree unlike any other. Known as the Whispering Willow, it stood at the heart of the village and was said to possess magical powers. The villagers believed that the tree could grant wishes, but only to those whose hearts were pure and selfless. In this village lived a young girl named Lily. She was known for her kind heart and unyielding curiosity. Lily lived with her grandmother, who would often tell her stories of the Whispering Willow and the many wishes it had granted. These stories filled Lily with wonder and a desire to visit the tree herself. One day, as Lily was tending to her chores, she noticed a commotion in the village square. A group of villagers had gathered, whispering anxiously. She hurried over to see what was happening and discovered that the village's well had dried up. Without water, the crops would wither, and the villagers would face a harsh winter. Determined to help, Lily decided to visit the Whispering Willow. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the stars began to twinkle, Lily made her way to the tree. She knelt beside its gnarled roots and whispered her wish. "Dear Whispering Willow, please bring water back to our village so that we may survive the coming winter," she pleaded, her voice soft but earnest. A gentle breeze rustled the willow's leaves, and Lily felt a strange warmth envelop her. The tree's branches swayed as if acknowledging her request. She stayed there for a while, feeling a deep connection to the ancient tree, before heading home with a hopeful heart. The next morning, Lily woke to the sound of joyous shouts. She rushed outside and saw the villagers gathered around the well. Water was flowing freely once more. The villagers were overjoyed, thanking the Whispering Willow for its miraculous gift. Lily's heart swelled with happiness, knowing that her wish had been granted. Days turned into weeks, and the village flourished. The fields were green, the crops grew tall, and the villagers worked together to prepare for winter. Despite their newfound prosperity, Lily felt that her work was not yet done. She knew that true happiness came not just from physical well-being but also from the bonds between people. She began organizing gatherings under the Whispering Willow, where villagers could share stories, sing psalms, and celebrate their community. These gatherings brought the villagers closer together, fostering a sense of unity and cooperation. One evening, during one such gathering, an old woman approached Lily. Her eyes sparkled with wisdom, and she spoke with a voice that seemed to echo with the whispers of the willow's leaves. "You have done well, young one," the old woman said. "The Whispering Willow's magic is not just in granting wishes but in bringing out the best in people. Your selfless heart and dedication to your village have made a true difference." Lily smiled, understanding that the magic of the Whispering Willow was intertwined with the goodness in people's hearts. The tree had granted her wish, but it was her own actions and the unity of the villagers that had truly transformed their lives. The story of Lily and the Whispering Willow spread far and wide, becoming a cherished legend. The tree continued to stand at the heart of the village, a symbol of hope and community. Villagers and travelers alike would visit, not just to make wishes, but to remember the power of kindness and togetherness. And so, the village thrived, its people living in harmony, guided by the gentle whispers of the willow tree in the legacy of a young girl's pure heart. They knew that as long as they remained united and kind, the magic of the whispering willow would always be with them. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a quaint village bordered by dense forests and sparkling lakes, there was a small shop run by a kind-hearted old man named Tobias. Tobias was known for crafting beautiful wooden toys and trinkets, but his most prized possession was an old, intricately carved music box. The music box had been passed down through generations and was said to have magical properties. The music box was adorned with delicate carvings of dancing figures and tiny stars. When opened, it played a hauntingly beautiful melody that could captivate anyone who heard it. Tobias kept it hidden away, believing it was too precious to be sold. In the same village lived a young girl named Ilara. Ilara was known for her curiosity and her love for music. She often wandered through the village, listening to the songs of birds and the rustling leaves. One day, while visiting Tobias's shop, Ilara spotted the music box and was instantly enchanted by its beauty. "Why don't you play it?" Ilara asked Tobias, her eyes wide with wonder. Tobias smiled gently. "Ah, this music box is very special. It plays a melody that can only be heard by those with a true heart. It has a magic that's meant for a special purpose." Ilara's curiosity grew stronger. She couldn't stop thinking about the music box and the magical melody it might hold. One evening, as the moon rose high in the sky, Ilara found herself at Tobias's shop again. The shop was closed, but she noticed a faint light coming from inside. She peeked through the window and saw the music box glowing softly. Unable to resist, Ilara gently opened the door and stepped inside. The music box sat on the counter, bathed in moonlight. As she approached it, the box began to play its enchanting melody. Ilara felt a strange, comforting warmth fill her heart. Suddenly, the room seemed to shimmer, and a gentle, shimmering fairy appeared. The fairy had delicate wings and a kind, serene expression. "Greetings, Ilara," the fairy said with a soft voice. "I am Seraphina, the guardian of the music box. You have a pure heart and a deep love for music. The box's magic has chosen you." Ilara's eyes widened. "What is the magic of the music box?" Seraphina smiled. "The music box holds the power to bring joy and healing to those in need. But to unlock its full magic, you must use its melody to help someone who is truly in need of hope." Ilara nodded, feeling a sense of purpose. She left the shop with the music box, determined to find someone who needed its magic. As she walked through the village, she noticed a small, run-down cottage on the edge of town. Inside, she saw an elderly woman sitting by a window, her face etched with sadness. Ilara hesitated for a moment but then decided to knock on the door. The elderly woman, whose name was Agnes, answered with a warm but weary smile. "Hello, Miss Agnes," Ilara said gently. "I have something that might bring you some joy." She opened the music box and let the melody fill the room. As the enchanting music played, Agnes's eyes filled with tears of joy. The melody seemed to lift her spirits and bring a sense of peace to her heart. She began to share stories of her younger days, her face lighting up with happiness. Ilara sat with Agnes, listening to her stories and sharing in her joy. The magic of the music box brought comfort and renewed hope to Agnes, who had been feeling lonely and forgotten. Days turned into weeks, and the village began to notice a change in Agnes. Her cottage was soon filled with laughter and light, and she became more active in the community. The music box's melody had not only brightened her days but had also inspired the villagers to come together and support one another. Ilara continued to use the music box's magic, visiting those who needed comfort and joy. The village flourished as the spirit of kindness and unity spread through the community. The music box's melody became a symbol of hope and connection, reminding everyone of the power of compassion. One evening, as the sun set and the stars began to twinkle, Seraphina appeared once more. You have used the music box's magic with a true heart, Elara. Your kindness has brought great joy to many. The box's magic will continue to shine through you. With a grateful heart, Elara thanked Seraphina and returned the music box to Tobias's shop. The magic of the box had fulfilled its purpose, and its melody would always remind the villagers of the power of kindness and love. And so, under the starry night sky, Elara and the village lived happily ever after, their hearts touched by the enchanting music box and the magic it had brought into their lives. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where lush meadows met enchanted forests, there was a small village called Starvale. Starvale was known for its breathtaking views of the night sky, where stars seemed to dance and shimmer with a special magic. The villagers cherished the stars and believed they held the key to their happiness. At the edge of the village was a dense, mysterious forest known as the Starry Grove. The trees in the grove were ancient and tall, their leaves glittering with a subtle, star-like glow. Legends spoke of a hidden, magical secret deep within the grove, a secret that could grant a single, heartfelt wish. However, few dared to venture into the Starry Grove, for it was said to be guarded by mystical creatures and ancient enchantments. In this village lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was known for his adventurous spirit and kind heart. Every night, he would gaze up at the stars, dreaming of helping his village, which had recently faced a terrible drought. The wells were dry. The fields were barren, and the once bustling village had become quiet and forlorn. One evening, as the full moon bathed the land in a silvery light, Finn made a decision. He would venture into the Starry Grove to seek the magical secret and wish for the rain that his village so desperately needed. He packed a small satchel with some food, a warm cloak, and a lantern that he had inherited from his grandfather. With a determined heart, he set out for the grove. As Finn entered the Starry Grove, the air was cool and fragrant with the scent of blooming night flowers. The trees whispered softly, and the stars seemed to guide his way. Finn followed a narrow, winding path illuminated by the soft glow of the lantern and the natural light of the grove. After walking for what felt like hours, Finn arrived at a clearing where the trees parted to reveal a shimmering pool. The water was perfectly still, reflecting the night sky like a mirror. At the center of the pool was a large, ancient stone, covered in glowing runes. As Finn approached the stone, a soft, melodic voice filled the air. "Welcome, young traveler. To find the secret you seek, you must solve the riddle of the grove." Finn looked around and saw a delicate, ethereal figure emerging from the trees. It was the guardian of the grove, a graceful being with wings like gossamer and eyes that sparkled like the stars. The guardian smiled warmly. "To restore the balance and bring rain to your village, you must answer this riddle. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Finn thought carefully. The moonlight danced on the water as he considered the riddle. He recalled the many nights he had spent gazing at the stars and the elements of nature that surrounded him. After a moment, he smiled and answered, "Fire." The guardian's eyes gleamed with approval. "You have answered correctly. The secret of the grove is revealed to those who understand the balance of nature and the elements. Your wish for rain will be granted, but first, you must show gratitude and respect for the magic of the grove." With that, the guardian raised her hands, and the runes on the stone began to glow brightly. The pool's surface rippled, and a soft, gentle rain began to fall over the Starry Grove. The raindrops shimmered like diamonds, and the grove seemed to come alive with a renewed vibrancy. Finn felt a warm sense of fulfillment as he watched the magical rain. He thanked the guardian and the grove for their generosity. As the rain continued to fall, the guardian's form began to fade, and the grove returned to its serene, starlit tranquility. Finn made his way back to the village, the soft glow of the lantern lighting his path. As he approached Starvale, he saw that the sky was filled with dark clouds, and soon, the rain began to pour down on the village. The wells started to fill, the fields soaked up the precious water, and the village came alive with joy and gratitude. The villagers gathered around Finn, amazed and overjoyed. They celebrated with a grand feast, and Finn was hailed as a hero. The rain had brought new life to their land, and hope had been restored. From that day on, the village of Starvale prospered, and Finn became a legend. The Starry Grove remained a magical place, a symbol of balance and harmony, and the villagers continued to honor the stars and the secret of the grove. Every night, as the stars shone brightly in the sky, they remembered the young boy who had ventured into the enchanted forest and returned with the gift of rain. Once upon a time, in a bustling kingdom known for its grand castles and splendid gardens, there was a small, humble cottage on the edge of a vast, enchanted forest. In this cottage lived a young woman named Elara, who was renowned for her kindness and gentle spirit. Despite her modest life, Elara had a heart full of dreams and a deep yearning to bring happiness to others. One crisp autumn morning, while wandering through the forest to gather herbs, Elara stumbled upon a hidden grove bathed in golden light. In the center of the grove lay a beautiful locket, glimmering with an otherworldly radiance. Intrigued, Elara picked it up, feeling its warmth against her palm. The locket was engraved with intricate designs of stars and moons, and it seemed to hum with a soft, melodic tune. As Elara opened the locket, a delicate voice spoke from within. "Greetings, kind-hearted soul. I am the enchanted locket. For finding me, I shall grant you one wish. Use it wisely, for it has the power to change the course of destiny." Elara's heart raced with excitement and wonder. She thought about the villagers in her kingdom, many of whom were struggling with hardships. She wanted to wish for something that would bring enduring happiness and prosperity to all. After much thought, Elara made her wish. "I wish for my kingdom to be a place where every person, no matter their station, can find joy and live in harmony." The locket glowed brightly, and a soft wind rustled through the grove. "Your wish is granted," the voice said. "But remember, true harmony comes from understanding and kindness." When Elara returned to her cottage, she found that the world around her had transformed. The kingdom was no longer just a place of grand castles and bustling markets, but had become a haven of unity and joy. The once divided society had come together, with people from all walks of life working side by side, sharing their skills and talents to build a better community. The once unequal distribution of resources was now balanced. The rich shared their abundance with the poor, and the laborers found respect and support from their peers. Every person was valued, and the kingdom flourished as never before. Elara continued her simple life, but she now saw her village and its people thrive in ways she had only dreamed of. The fields were lush, the markets were vibrant, and the laughter of children echoed through the streets. The kingdom had become a place where kindness was the rule and harmony was the norm. One day, as Elara walked through the bustling village, she was approached by a wise old man who had heard of her wish and the miraculous change it had brought. He thanked her for her selflessness and revealed a secret. "The enchanted locket has chosen you because of your pure heart. It's not just the magic that has transformed this kingdom, but also the kindness you have shown. Your wish was not just a desire but a reflection of who you are." Elara smiled, understanding that the true magic lay in the unity and kindness of her people, inspired by her own compassion and selflessness. The enchanted locket had granted her wish, but it was her own actions and the spirit of the kingdom that had truly made the difference. The story of Elara and the enchanted locket became a cherished tale in the kingdom, passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of kindness and the magic that can be created by a pure heart. And so, the kingdom thrived, its people living in joy and harmony, knowing that true happiness comes from within and from the way we treat one another. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a kingdom shrouded in mist and mystery, there was a small village called Everbrook, nestled in the valley of the Whispering Mountains. This village was known for its lush meadows and sparkling streams, but it had a secret hidden deep within the mountains, a place called the Crystal Cavern. The cavern was said to be filled with magical crystals that could grant any wish, but it was also guarded by a fearsome dragon. Among the villagers was a brave young girl named Lila. Lila had always been fascinated by the legends of the Crystal Cavern, especially the tales of a rare, star-shaped crystal that could bring great joy and prosperity. Her family was poor, and despite their hard work, they struggled to make ends meet. Lila dreamed of finding the star-shaped crystal to help her family and her village. One chilly winter evening, as Lila sat by the fire reading an old book of legends, she stumbled upon a map hidden between the pages. The map depicted a path leading to the crystal cavern, marked with strange symbols and warnings about the dragon. Lila felt a surge of determination. She knew that the journey would be perilous, but she was ready to face the challenge for the sake of her family. The next morning, Lila packed a small bag with provisions, a lantern, and a sturdy rope. She bid farewell to her family, who were worried but proud of her bravery. Lila set off into the mountains, guided by the map and her unwavering resolve. The path was treacherous, with steep cliffs and narrow ledges, but Lila pressed on. As night fell, she reached a hidden entrance to the cavern, marked by ancient runes glowing faintly in the darkness. She lit her lantern and stepped inside. The cavern was a breathtaking sight. Walls of glittering crystals bathed in a soft, ethereal light. The air was filled with a soothing hum, as if the crystals were singing. Lila followed the map's instructions, navigating through the labyrinthine tunnels with a mix of awe and trepidation. Suddenly, a low growl echoed through the cavern, and a massive dragon emerged from the shadows. Its scales shimmered like 1,000 gems, and its eyes glowed with an intense, fiery light. Lila's heart pounded in her chest, but she stood her ground. The dragon spoke in a deep, rumbling voice, "Who dares enter my domain?" "I am Lila from Everbrook," she said bravely. "I have come in search of the star-shaped crystal. My family and my village need it." The dragon's eyes softened slightly as it observed Lila. "Many have come before you seeking the crystal, but none have succeeded. What makes you different?" Lila took a deep breath and replied, "I am not seeking the crystal for myself. I want to help my family and my village. If you can see that my heart is true, please, allow me to take the crystal." The dragon stared at her for a long moment before speaking again. "Very well. I will test your heart's purity. You must answer this riddle. What is the light that shines brightest in the dark, the warmth that soothes the cold, and the bond that holds hearts together?" Lila thought carefully, remembering her family and her village. With a gentle smile, she answered, "Love." The dragon's eyes sparkled with approval. "You have answered wisely. The star-shaped crystal is yours." The dragon gestured with its massive claw, and a hidden chamber revealed itself, containing the star-shaped crystal. Lila carefully took the crystal and thanked the dragon for its kindness. With the crystal in hand, Lila made her way back to Everbrook. The journey was long and exhausting, but she felt a sense of fulfillment. When she returned, she placed the crystal in the center of the village square. As its light spread, it brought warmth and prosperity to Everbrook. The once struggling village flourished with abundance, and the villagers celebrated Lila's bravery and selflessness. From that day on, Lila was known as the heroine of Everbrook. The tale of her journey to the Crystal Cavern became a cherished legend, reminding everyone of the power of love and the courage to follow one's heart. And so, under the gentle light of the star-shaped crystal, once upon a time, in a kingdom where the trees sparkled like jewels, there lay the Crystal Forest. The forest was said to be enchanted, with trees whose leaves glowed softly in the moonlight and flowers that sang gentle lullabies. However, the forest had become silent and dark, its magic fading away. In a quaint village on the edge of the forest, lived a brave girl named Ilara. Ilara had always been fascinated by the legends of the Crystal Forest and dreamed of restoring its lost magic. She had heard tales of an ancient artifact hidden deep within the forest called the Heart of Light, which was said to hold the power to revive the forest's enchantment. One morning, with a heart full of determination, Ilara set out on a quest to find the Heart of Light and bring back the magic to the forest. She walked through the village, bidding farewell to her family and friends who wished her luck on her journey. As Ilara entered the Crystal Forest, she noticed that the once vibrant trees were now dull, and the singing flowers were silent. The forest seemed to be waiting for something. With each step, she felt a sense of urgency and hope. Ilara followed a shimmering path that led her deeper into the forest. Along the way, she met a wise old owl perched on a low branch. the owl's feathers sparkled with the last remnants of magic. "Greetings, young traveler," the owl hooted. "I am Orion, the guardian of the forest. What brings you here?" Elara explained her quest to find the Heart of Light. Orion's eyes widened with recognition. The Heart of Light is hidden in the enchanted grove, but it can only be found by one with a pure heart and a courageous spirit. Orion flapped his wings and flew beside Elara, guiding her through the forest. They passed through winding paths and shimmering streams until they reached the enchanted grove, a serene glade surrounded by towering crystal trees. In the center of the grove stood an ancient tree with a hollow at its base. Inside the hollow, Elara could see the faint glow of the Heart of Light. But it was guarded by a fierce, shimmering dragon. The dragon had scales like polished gems and eyes that sparkled with ancient wisdom. Elara took a deep breath and approached the dragon with respect. "I seek the Heart of Light to restore the magic of the crystal forest. I come with a pure heart and a noble purpose." The dragon regarded Elara with a thoughtful gaze. "To obtain the Heart of Light, you must prove your bravery and kindness. You must complete 3 tasks: bring light to the darkest part of the forest, heal a wounded creature, and solve the riddle of the ancient tree." Elara nodded and accepted the challenge. For the first task, Elara followed a dark, shadowy path to the deepest part of the forest. There, she found a small, magical lantern that had lost its glow. She gently polished the lantern and filled it with the light of her own heart. The lantern sparkled and illuminated the dark area, bringing light back to the shadows. For the second task, Elara came across a small, injured squirrel. She carefully tended to its wounds with the herbs she had brought and comforted it until it felt better. The squirrel's gratitude was evident as it scampered away, full of life and energy. For the final task, Elara approached the ancient tree, its bark covered in mysterious symbols. The riddle was etched into the tree. "I have keys but open no locks, I have space but no room, you can enter but not go inside, what am I?" Elara thought carefully and realized the answer. "A piano," she said confidently. The symbols on the tree glowed brightly, and the tree's hollow opened to reveal the Heart of Light. The dragon, seeing Elara's successful completion of the tasks, allowed her to take the Heart of Light. As Elara held the artifact, its glow grew brighter, and the crystal forest began to come alive again. The trees regained their sparkle, and the flowers resumed their gentle songs. Elara thanked the dragon and returned to the village, carrying the Heart of Light with her. The village celebrated her bravery and the restoration of the crystal forest. The forest once again became a place of magic and wonder, thanks to Elara's courage and kindness. And so, the crystal forest thrived with enchantment, its magic preserved by the heart of a brave girl who believed in the power of light and love. The end. Once upon a time, in the luminous kingdom of Astria, where the night sky was a canvas of shimmering stars, there was a sacred task entrusted to a chosen few, keeping the stars' light alive. This duty was performed by the Star Keepers, wise beings who lived in a grand observatory atop the highest peak. Among the Star Keepers was a young apprentice named Lyra. Lyra was known for her curiosity and her unwavering dedication to the stars. Her dream was to become a full-fledged Star Keeper, but she still had much to learn. The most revered Star Keeper of all was Elder Orion, who had guided and protected the stars for centuries. One evening, as Lyra was polishing the celestial lanterns in the observatory, she overheard a conversation between Elder Orion and the other Star Keepers. They spoke of a looming threat, a dark cloud known as the Shadow Veil that sought to steal the stars' light and plunge Astria into eternal darkness. Determined to prove her worth and protect her beloved stars, Lyra decided to take on the task of finding and dispelling the Shadow Veil. Elder Orion, though initially reluctant, saw the fire in her eyes and entrusted her with a magical star crystal that would guide her on her journey. With the crystal in hand and a heart full of courage, Lyra set off on her quest. The crystal glowed softly, lighting her way as she ventured through enchanted forests, over misty mountains, and across shimmering lakes. Each step of her journey was guided by the crystal's gentle light. Along her path, Lyra encountered various challenges. The first was a forest of whispering trees that tried to lead her astray with confusing riddles. Using her quick thinking and the wisdom she had gained from the Star Keepers, Lyra answered their riddles correctly and continued on her way. Next, she crossed a treacherous bridge guarded by a fearsome dragon named Zephyr. The dragon demanded a toll of bravery and kindness before allowing passage. Lyra spoke to Zephyr with respect and courage, explaining her mission and her desire to protect the stars. Touched by her sincerity, Zephyr allowed her to pass and even gave her a magical scale as a token of good fortune. Finally, Lyra reached the edge of the Shadow Veil. It was a swirling, dark mass that seemed to absorb all light around it. As she approached, the crystal in her hand began to pulse with a brilliant light. Lyra took a deep breath and stepped into the veil, her heart filled with determination. Inside the Shadow Veil, the darkness was oppressive, and Lyra could barely see. But she remembered the teachings of the Star Keepers, that even the smallest light can dispel darkness. Holding the crystal high, she began to sing a song of light and hope, her voice carrying through the gloom. The melody of her song was pure and strong, and as she sang, the crystal's light grew brighter. The Shadow Veil began to retreat, its darkness unraveling in the face of Lyra's unwavering light. The veil fought back, but Lyra's song was relentless, and her courage fueled the crystal's power. At last, the Shadow Veil was dispelled, and the stars shone once more with their radiant light. The night sky returned to its brilliant glory, and the kingdom of Astria was safe again. Exhausted but triumphant, Lyra returned to the observatory. Elder Orion and the other Star Keepers greeted her with pride. They celebrated her bravery and the success of her quest. Lyra had proven herself worthy of becoming a full Star Keeper, her heart shining as brightly as the stars she protected. From that day on, Lyra took her place among the Star Keepers, guiding and safeguarding the stars with wisdom and dedication. The kingdom of Astria thrived under the light of the stars, and Lyra's story became a legend of courage and hope. And so, the stars continued to twinkle in the night sky, a reminder of the light that can overcome even the darkest shadows, thanks to the bravery of one young girl who followed her heart. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between rolling hills and sparkling lakes, there was a young girl named Elara. Elara lived with her grandmother in a cozy cottage on the edge of the Whispering Woods. She was known throughout the village for her boundless curiosity and her love for the tales her grandmother told, especially those about the Whispering Willow, a magical tree said to grant wishes to those pure of heart. One summer, a terrible drought struck the kingdom. The crops withered, the rivers dried up, and the once lush fields turned to dust. The villagers were desperate, for without water, they feared they would not survive the coming winter. Elara's grandmother, who had seen many hardships in her time, told Elara that only the Whispering Willow could save them. The Whispering Willow, she said, has deep roots that reach the underground rivers. If you can find it and ask for its help, it might save us all. Determined to help her village, Elara set off early the next morning. Armed with nothing but a small bag of provisions and her grandmother's old, worn map, she ventured into the Whispering Woods. The forest was thick and tangled, with paths that twisted and turned, making it easy to get lost. But Elara's determination never wavered. As she journeyed deeper into the woods, she encountered a fox caught in a trap. Despite her own urgent quest, Elara couldn't ignore the animal's plight. Carefully, she freed the fox, who then transformed into a small, glowing sprite. "Thank you, kind girl," the sprite said. "I am Phelan, guardian of the forest. For your kindness, I will help you on your journey. The Whispering Willow lies in the heart of the forest, guarded by ancient magic. Follow me." Phelan led Elara through the forest, their path illuminated by his soft, golden glow. They traveled for hours, passing through dense underbrush and across trickling streams. Along the way, Phelan shared stories of the forest's wonders and dangers, teaching Elara about the delicate balance of nature. As dusk approached, they reached a clearing where the Whispering Willow stood. The tree was magnificent, its branches heavy with silvery leaves that shimmered like starlight. The air around it was filled with a gentle hum, as if the tree itself was whispering secrets. Elara approached the tree with reverence. "Great Whispering Willow," she called, "our village is suffering from a terrible drought. Please, we need your help to bring water to our lands." The leaves rustled, and a soft, melodic voice filled the air. "Elara, you have shown kindness and bravery. I will help your village, but first, you must prove your heart's purity. You must answer this riddle. What can you hold in your right hand but never in your left?" Elara thought for a moment, her brow furrowed in concentration. Then, she smiled and answered, "Your left hand." The Whispering Willow's leaves rustled in approval. "You are wise and kind, Elara. For your pure heart, I will grant your wish." The ground beneath the tree trembled, and a clear, sparkling stream began to flow from its roots. The stream grew into a river, winding its way through the forest and back toward Elara's village. Elara watched in awe as the water brought life back to the parched land. Phelan, the sprite, turned to Elara. "You have done a great deed today. The forest and your village are forever in your debt. The Whispering Willow's gift will ensure that your village never suffers from drought again." Elara thanked Phelan and the Whispering Willow before making her way back to the village. When she arrived, the villagers were overjoyed to see the river flowing through their fields, bringing water and life back to their crops. Elara's grandmother embraced her tightly. "You have saved us all, my dear. Your courage and kindness have brought us hope." From that day on, the village thrived, and Elara's story became a cherished legend. She grew up to be a wise and compassionate leader, always remembering the lessons she learned from the forest and the Whispering Willow. And so, the kingdom prospered, living in harmony with nature, and Elara and her village lived happily ever after, their hearts forever grateful for the magic of the Whispering Willow.